Bounty horses. What?
No, we don't have to do that.
Well,
Hello, Jinxie. Hello, Edward.
look who's here.
Look who's first.
Yes.
Edward.
Ignore the other person.
Oh, boy.
And hello, Jinxie
Hello, Nolan.
Cake. And Nolan. Well, everybody's just piling in.
It's the time. And I'm a couple minutes late.
Yeah, he's a bum like that. I tried to, like, hit
eating
him with
pizza.
a stick to make him go faster, but just wouldn't have it. Ugh. Yeah, I got derps. That's a good derps. Look at that derps. Cutest horse there is.
Cool.
Well, thank you for the sub, Jinx. Jinxie Cake. Hey, Mike. How are ya? Argo, hope your day is good. How are ya?
Wait, you only hope his day's good? What about my day?
Your day came first.
No, he asked me how I was doing, but he only said that you're words.
What did you just say?
I said words. I made words now.
I have no idea.
I make words good.
I have no idea what you just said. Those.
I am doing well, Jinxie Cake.
I'm doing well too. It's the weekend.
It's not only the weekend, it's an extended weekend, which makes it better. My boss today told me to head home early because of the holiday, and I looked at him and was like, maybe we should work late. And he's like, you can. I'm not. He wanted to go home. I like work, because if I get all my work done, I can read pony fan fiction. But if I take days off of work, how am I going to get caught up? It's a real conundrum.
More fan fiction.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Get my work done, read about horses.
That.
I want to comment, but I can't.
The mid face.
It's upsetting.
Just as long as it's a China live stream. Hello, whole bug.
It's time for the Applejack's unlicensed school bus. Applejack's unlicensed school bus. That's what I'm
Time for another.
It's funny.
That
Make a hiss noise. There it is.
that's a good noise.
Yeah, it's a noise.
I wonder if you can tell the size of the can by like the sound. I think that's a deeper thump than like a normal can. It's a higher pitched.
Yeah, probably.
All right. What was that? Sit in my chair. There you go. Hello. You can comment now.
That's he was already hideous before you messed with his face.
It's fine. I feel like I think what he would actually be really good with in like if he had a job would be ear piercings. Because
Jeez.
bite their ear.
He just like, I just imagine him having a job just opening up cans of tomato soup, and that's his entire job.
Soap dope.
His life is a living can opener.
I like cream of celery.
There's a little bit of snips in every can. It's like gross. See, now his design's okay. Like, I mean, Snips' cheekbones are just like ridiculously high. I did appreciate in later seasons they did try to include them more. Snips and Snails.
Can't actually do what I want to do. Well, kinda. I think it'd be better just to do like a...
No, if Snips bit his tongue, he would just lop his tongue off. And that would be the end of it. That tooth is just a weapon against his own gum line.
It's like,
Get away from that.
That's weird.
What do you mean? You're not supposed to sniff your best friends?
Do we know that they're best friends?
I mean, they hang out together a lot.
I feel like this is one of those situations where, like, Snails is probably
Well, he
the
became
best friend of Snips, but Snips' best friend is Snails, but Snails has some other person that is their best friend, so
Yeah.
it's like a one-way thing.
Oh, there's probably a lot of those. But like, Snails became a professional athlete, and Snips just kind of failed at things.
Yeah, because he did like the ball thing.
The buckball, yeah, he became a very prominent buckball player.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he's really good at it.
For some reason. Like, well, you can go pro. It's like, I'm still in middle school. Okay, well, you can quit middle school now. You don't need an education when
When you're good at sports, who needs education?
that way. I can't imagine it's good when Snips bites his tongue. Probably not. It'd be Snippet. Did you even move?
Yeah, I moved a lot.
Okay, a little bit. It's fine. If you're back there and invisible, it's okay. Don't do that. You disappear when you do that.
That was the intent.
No, okay. So, I opened this and it didn't crash, which is another point towards the model.
I thought about this. And the only thing I could think to do, if it is the model, because it didn't crash when I saved it on file,
Nifty.
is to just, have a separate file that's just that shot.
When that happened, both times, it completely messed up my Steam.
I didn't mess up Steam.
All my launch options have disappeared from all my files twice.
It could not have done that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there was porn all over my desktop. I don't know where that came from.
It's like, Mom, it's the model of the Carousel Boutique.
Yeah.
It put all that porn on my hard drive. That's the only explanation. You don't know computers, so what do you know? Of course, that's why it happened. But seriously, if you really believe that the boutique is crashing everything.
No, I don't know what's causing it yet, but
Putting
I don't
it
want
on its own file.
I don't want to put it in this file until I have
7 backups.
no, until I've given it time.
It'll be the last thing to go in, yeah.
Yeah, so that I can
Ideally.
break it when I'm done.
Just put it in its own file and just cut it in.
You know what I want to do is I'm just gonna take a picture of it, and then I'm just gonna edit it in with the blue screen still visible.
It's a good model, I swear.
You weren't supposed to click the 100% no virus download now link. But why would you not? It have no virus. I need to get these red.
I did put a lot of work into that. It was fun.
Yes, I will get to it, but I'm
No, I don't
more
blame
concerned.
you. Like if you think, I mean, I had my suspicions too because that thing was. I put that thing together with like scotch tape and a prayer.
Okay, so we need the wood is. Not that. Oh, it's probably one of the school ones. It is floating wall. That would be it. So we're going to
Color.
add a material override. I can't just color it.
You gotta get the crowns first.
I need to figure out which of these I actually need to modify.
The wooden ones.
They're both wood.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's both. Interesting.
You did not miss the special guest. The special guest will be this not
No,
this
next-
weekend.
that's
Next weekend. Next weekend.
Yes, he was. They were here for 15 minutes and then we kicked him out.
Yes. Maybe I'm the special guest.
You know,
I'm pretty special.
the problem is that requires. That was. You took my joke.
How dare! How dare you!
I was gonna say that requires that you're special, and then you made fun of yourself. It doesn't work this way. This is broken wood.
He is salty.
Yeah, I'm allowed to make fun of you, not you.
Self-deprivation is like my hallmark.
I am happy. Can you not hear how happy I am? Wow.
I think at work today, I was talking to my coworker, and he's like, "You looking forward to the weekend?" I'm like, "Sure am." It's like, "What are you gonna do? What are you looking forward to?" The heat death of the universe. And he's like, "Stop being depressed." I'm like, "I'm not. I'm having fun. This is fun for me."
Depression is fun.
Who isn't looking forward to the heat death of the universe? Sounds like a good old time.
Okay, so these are the two I need to do, like, redifying, I guess. So this needs to be a pretty bright red. If I want it to match this.
Just like take that color and just put like a tint layer over it or something.
Nope. You photo filter, color red.
I don't know this isn't GIMP.
Turn the density up, and then turn off preserve luminosity. Red. Look at that. You know what color this is? It's red. Unless you're colorblind, then it's probably like gray.
I think most people who are colorblind can still see red. Red's a pretty hard color.
Well, no, because there's people that are monochromatic.
I mean, just black and white.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at red on a black and white TV?
I believe Nixie, that we
Yeah.
one of the other SFMRC is monochromatic, I believe.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like red though on like a black and white television? It still kind of looks red.
I one time, you know how the old televisions had like the 3 cables you plugged in for the 3 colors? Mm-hmm. I had accidentally at one point mixed the red color in the red audio,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice it. I thought Mortal Kombat's blood was green. I don't know why, but I spent weeks thinking it was green and that the audio sucked. But it was only because I was hearing it out of one channel.
Man,
Once I plugged that in, I'm like, whoa!
that was like the super early HD. They used like the 3 colors.
It was between, because it went from like composite to S-video to component, and then it started getting into like the HDMI after
They like
that.
the DVI, HDMI. Man, I remember S Video. That was the jam. Like if you could have, if you had.
Yeah, but it was
anything
such a
hooked up
small life that had that it
Yeah.
felt like if you put any money or investment into it, you did not get the money back on
to it.
it.
No.
But I had stuff with S-video.
I had my computer hooked up to my TV through S Video. I think that's where I used it.
This one didn't redify as much as I want.
I would say the one piece of technology I remember that had like the shortest life was zip drives. I think hardly anybody remembers those.
Yeah, they kind of exist. I mean, the same usability exists with other drives. It's just those specific ones did not last very long.
No.
It felt like they lasted longer, but they really didn't.
They really didn't. The only person I knew who even had one was my aunt, and that's like the only reason I'm aware of them. Is she was super like, oh, this is gonna be the future of data, saving data, and I'm like, wow, neat. You can hold how much? Like, she's like 100 whole megabytes on this. It's like, wow. And then CDRs came out and CDRWs came out not long after, and just kind of those went away.
Well, they came out because writable CDs were cheap. Problem is they had a whole host of other issues. Basically, the rewritability.
Well, even the CD rewrites you had to completely wipe it to write new stuff.
Well, no, the CD rewrites you could sometimes do just the normal stuff, but it was a hassle. And it was loud. It was time consuming. Yeah, USB drives just blew those out of the water.
Oh yeah, once USB drives came out, they were the standard, and they still kind of are.
Oh yeah, no, I got that.
And I think I had my first USB flash drive in high school, which was not that long ago, right?
Long time ago.
No, but yeah, it was a while ago. It was 256 megabytes, and I remember thinking that was, how would I ever use that much space?
Well, yeah, that's been that way since. Before I thought, like, I have a 2 terabyte hard drive. I'm never going to fill that up. Now I have a 2 terabyte, a 1 terabyte. Both those, or one of them's basically full. The other one's more than half full. And then I have a backup that's 12 terabytes, and that is 2/3 full.
I do have 3 terabytes on my computer, and I've about filled it up, but I know a lot of it's just junk that I kept downloading to my computer, and I've been playing Age of Empires 2 a lot lately. I've been saving every game, every recording. I need to delete those.
Oh, the video?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the game automatically does it by default, and I've never bothered to turn it off.
Oh.
And it is kind of fun to go back and watch some of those games, but it takes up a lot of hard drive space.
This one is Broken Wood, I believe. Yeah, that's any. If you want to fill up any space on anything, just add the word raw to any file that you're doing. Raw video, raw images, they're just stupid big.
Just video in general, really.
Raw video. If you do, like, a lot of the stuff I try to do, like, if I export all the SFM stuff, a single video that's like, what, a minute long is 35 gigs. Because it's all individual frames saved individually. Each of those frames is technically compressed, but it's uncompressed video. Each of the frames is PNG. If I did them uncompressed, oh my god, those file sizes.
I still have all those Fallout 76 videos on my computer. I don't think they're gonna get used.
No, he'll get to stuff with that eventually, but not for the stuff that we would need.
I don't think he's gonna use any of my footage.
No, probably not.
I'll go.
Wood planks, tank entrance one. There we go. Okay, let's try this. String. Oh, I'll get to that in a second. Kite. Just want to get the red. I did not make it red.
Gotta make sure that all the this is all just paint right on the wood. And the Phillies got hurt.
See, they're not red because the building is red.
No. It's just one of the children was completely annihilated.
That one changed correctly, and those work. Why did this one?
It's almost kind of nice as a mix, though, too.
Broken wood. Red. Oh, I added a space after that, didn't I? No?
I think that's what's going to take up hard drive space quicker than anything. It's just being a hobbyist. If you have a hobby in, like, video, like just recording video or source filmmaker or something, that'll All that stuff will eat up hard drive space pretty quick.
I might need to brighten these a little bit because they seem...
Seems good to me.
They're just a little darker in comparison. A lot of that has to do with the lighting, but
Yeah.
I can make that work. Special guest. Next Friday we have a special guest.
Yeah. I'm trying really hard not to give away who it is by accident. I'm like having to remind myself not to say their name by mistake.
You just spoiled that they have a name.
Oh no.
Poppers. Hello, Red. SM is eating half of my hard drive.
Well, you have an entire computer.
No, like this is
dedicated to backing up stuff.
this is my gaming hard drive. Data goes on and off of that all the time. I just delete games that I don't play once it fills up, so it's almost always full. This is what SFM and the rest of my most of my programs run on the computer, but SFM probably takes up a large portion of that. I can probably clean some off because I think there's some renders in there, and then my OS is just on a smaller drive. These are M.2s, and then this is just a standard
Spin drive?
No, this is a SSD.
Oh.
A plug-in a SATA SSD. These are M.2 NVMe's. This is the drive. I can't really look up the data because it's on. This is just a network connection to the stream computer, but that's the one that's like 11.6 or 12 gigs, or not gigs, terabytes. But it is like 2/3 full. I'm probably gonna have to expand it soon. And I built that like a year ago. It's just I've been saving more uncompressed video files.
You almost kind of need a second gaming hard drive.
Why?
Because you're about full.
I just told you what I do.
I know what you do, but maybe you shouldn't have to.
But if I'm not going to play the game ever again,
Yeah, but you might.
then I'll reinstall it. We have gigabit.
You just wait. Bandwidth doesn't grow on trees, sir.
Yes, it does. I pay for it to grow on my trees. No, I just in this with the internet we have, it just makes no sense to.
I mean, we still pay for internet by the minute, so.
Oh, God. I think we hit our data cap every month.
We would absolutely have to.
A stupid face though.
You've kind of already abused the crap out of snips, but I wouldn't put it past you to do it again. Are you even gonna put them on the tractor? I mean, they kind of should be on the tractor, but I hate them.
Oh, that's Pumpkin.
She's cute.
No, they're gonna be on the tractor.
Yeah, they kind of should be. They're pretty standard classmates.
I feel like he goes. Then you do like the to be continued music. Rip Thick Snips. Thick Snips was great. He got all the ladies. Derpy loved him.
No. Derpy,
Yes,
like...
it was your mom. Your mom.
That's why she has that face.
Guess what? Guess what, Dinky?
So Snips is your new dad.
That's your daddy.
It's like, no. She's just like, no.
She's...
Now, they made a few indications with her as far as her family is concerned, but they never really said who the father would be.
No.
Which is probably for the best.
No. No, he not daddy. Somebody called Geraldo.
He looking. just that face. It's like, no. It's like, my dad will sue.
That's how I get rich.
I mean, there is a lawsuit there for sure. There's so many lawsuits.
No, he was thick. That's different.
I'm talking about what Applejack's doing.
What she's doing, this is an accident.
Yeah.
It's manslaughter then, not murder.
Oh, right.
I mean, no murder's happened yet.
I mean,
but somebody got a splinter.
I mean, if the ending proceeds, it's gonna be something.
Well, I always enjoy a good messing with Derpy.
Oh, she's cute. Bat Derpy. The Bat Derpy's good too. Oh, Soldier Derpy. Oh, that's a action Derpy.
Ooh, that was probably not what I wanted to
What
click.
was that Derpy?
This one?
Yeah, no, there was like one with different hair.
This one?
That one's like a older looking model. I know.
No.
Well,
Well,
they
do
had like a
Derpy.
different main.
I'm going to crash with because of RAM in a sec here because this file is getting pretty nuts. So we got Soldier Derpy though.
Okay.
Actually, wait. No, let's do. No, delete Derpy.
Oh, it's always a bad idea. How quickly you're typing that in because you know if it loads too much.
No, it's one hand.
Good stand.
Being that I had the microphone between my right hand and the keyboard, I try to type with one hand whenever I can.
So, for Stupid Face, are you going to give her like a juice box?
So we have. Okay, so we have here.
You should give her a hoodie.
It's okay. So we have this is Derpy, right?
Stupid Face. Yeah.
Okay, so
Cutest horse in all the land.
and then we got close wing. Okay, so this is a Derpy
Yes.
in the wild,
Yes. A wild Derpy has appeared.
and then she melts. No, and then like she goes into science.
Yay!
She's-
Science Derp.
And then we have it's Science Derp.
Yes, she's so smart.
She's
Look at her go.
too much science.
Look at her go. She's gonna crack the perfect muffin.
The perfect muffin.
Yes.
She's gonna okay then all right. She's going to make the perfect muffin.
All right. Cool.
But Michael, how does she make the perfect muffin?
By being adorable.
Okay, I can't
can't
load
find where the
up
muffin go.
adorable.
Yeah. Well, you already did.
Okay, so we
So-
got the muffin.
Maybe she
No,
has
I know what it is.
like a muffin
I know what it
ray.
is. Okay, so she's a muffin ray.
Yeah. She like
Okay,
has
I
a
don't-
ray that makes muffins.
Okay, it's gonna crash. I think in the next model I load. Let's just search Ray. Ashtray, that works.
I hope you have a model of Ray Romano in there
it goes.
somewhere. Oh.
I knew it was gonna crash. Yes, SFM has totally a model of Ray Romano.
Yeah.
That is one of those models that, like, I have had moments where I'm like, they don't have a model of that. And I had to search for it. I'm like, holy shit.
Just type in Ray Romano. There he is, like, hey. There he is, Ray Romano.
They gotta make it. Everybody loves Raymond.
Certainly do.
I use portal props for the blowing. Hello, term. I'm not sure what you mean by the blowing. Do you mean the explosion stuff?
Sure, you wouldn't even do stupid.
No, that's
face in
actually
these
from TF2.
final.
No, I saved it before I knew it was gonna crash.
Uh-oh.
But immediately upon loading, I'm already at 3100.
So, do you have a model of Ray Romano? Because
No,
this
we
seems
do not
important.
have a model of Ray Romano.
This is important. Why don't you have this? I'm upset.
I don't care. It's not whether or not I have it. It's whether or not somebody sat down at their computer, looked at their monitor and says, "You know what this community is missing."
Ray from Everybody Loves Raymond. Very important. Oh, they got that guy, the Skeleton Man. Why can't they have Ray Romano?
Is that how I spell it?
I don't know.
Wait,
I haven't had the opportunity to
let me say Ray.
Ray.
It's gonna come up if it is.
Ooh, there's a ray gun. That would be perfect.
How about this? Derpy could totally hug.
The Mortal Kombat Meat Man.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any Ray Romano. Though there was a part of me that was really, really hoping that I did.
That would have been amazing. Steam community, get on that. We need a model of Ray
Okay,
Romano.
so I'm gonna search
Oh, come on.
gravity
There
gun.
has to...
It's a good ray gun.
Well, I was going to say, it wasn't coming up, and I thought maybe...
No, it just was still loading the library. All right, so she's Derpy. Derpy has.
She has her muffin ray.
Oh wait. There we go. All right. So
Her pastry. Get it? It's a pastry.
that actually hurts me a little bit. Okay. So she got gravity. No, she got the muffin gun.
She gonna make the perfect muffin.
Wait, but Derpy,
Science.
so Derpy cannot do science unless
She gonna do a science?
it's got to be in her hand first. So there, so there, so she's got it. So she's it's like Derpy, are you ready for science?
Yes, she's always ready for science.
She's
Look
like,
at her.
okay, you aim, Derpy. No, aim at the muffin.
She is, as far as she can tell.
She's Derpy, the muffin's in front of you. No, Derpy, no.
She's gonna make us all the perfect muffin.
No, Derpy.
You got Mr. Fantastic skills.
No, she's
Muffin nuts.
It's like this is Derpy time now.
It's muffin time.
Yes, it's Derpy's.
Oh no, Derpy looks completely blind in one eye. It does make her look
It's
evil.
Derpy's new
Cool.
Derpy's new slogan, and she's just it's Muppet time.
She gonna turn the whole world into muffins.
Yes, and so and then she's just like where's there? It's like pew 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 pew. And then
Wouldn't that be
you're
it?
dead.
No, your muffins.
Okay, but no, we're gonna go back to what we were doing.
That'd be a twist for G5. It's like Derpy comes back, but she's a villain.
Okay,
It's like an
so
evil villain.
all right, so there we go. She's okay. You got Derpy.
Yes, very important.
And she's got the muffin gun. And then she goes zip 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 zip.
She zipped the
Zip.
heck out of that muffin.
There was a lot of zips. And then the muffin, it starts to shrink, and that makes Derpy very sad, because
She want big muffin.
yes, because she's no, I want more muffin. I don't want a small muffin. So then she does the only part. She zip 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 more, and
Yes.
and
She's
and she kind of like hit the over in the corner there, and she kind of hit her leg a little bit,
No, don't hurt Derby.
and like, oh no.
She needs that leg for the leg
Oh
stuff.
no, how do I itch my butt now?
That is a concern.
But it's okay. She hit Control Z, and so she is fine. And
good.
so
It's good to have a weapon with Control Z attached.
yes, so then she thinks, well, what happens if instead of laser? She's like, what if I just like I just beat it? And she's
Guy hit with the gun.
yeah, she whack it with the science gun. Nobody's questioning how she defies physics with her stretchy arm, and then the muffin, it starts to grow,
Oh,
and then she's
happy, but there's a problem.
wait, no, she's not happy yet. Hold on, don't get ahead of me here.
Well, I know when Derpy's gonna be happy. Look at her. Like, but it's not the perfect muffin. It doesn't have a banana in it.
That Derpy has a preference for muffin bananas.
No, like the perfect muffin's gonna have banana in it.
It is.
Yeah, because banana nut muffin's like the best muffin.
Those are good. Actually, without the nut, like banana. Oh, I don't like the crunch. The crunch with the banana. It just is, or just when I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. Banana is good.
Banana's good. At least we can agree.
Because I can eat it until I'm like 102 because I don't need teeth. It's great.
Yeah, Banana's good like
Anyways, so yes, Derpy gets very excited.
that. Yes.
Because she gets bigger muffin, but then
No, that's good.
it keeps growing,
Good.
and she's
You're gonna be happier.
she's because she's smart, right?
Well, of course, she's the smartest mayor.
Okay,
in all
she's
of
very
Pushka.
smart, and she kind of looks up and she looks up and then she says, "Very scientific. I fucked up." Because
Science.
yes, there's a scientific term, and then because it just keeps going.
The world will become a muffin.
Yes, she's it keeps going, and it got to the point like
Derpy solves world hunger. That's the end of the story.
the world is taken over by muffin.
It's okay. This seems like a good thing. I'm okay with this.
I can't. It's so big I can't even see it.
It escaped all reality.
But then everybody suffocates.
We just
Because of Derpy, but it's okay. Because she did science.
yes, she did science and she
And
did
then
a
she,
good science.
then she did a flip.
Oof.
Wait, no.
She solved world hunger. Everybody's happy.
And then she's good.
Yeah.
So she's
Turns out she can breathe muffin, so it's fine.
Sir Edward says the Derpy solves world hunger.
Yes, absolutely. Derpy saved day. Amazing story.
Are you doing TF2 stuff? No. I was doing stupid face stuff.
We're getting to watch all the stages of Derpy in reverse. It's fantastic. We're gonna go.
You know I guess I can't go any further back than that.
No, we just have to leave Derpy in forever. Aw.
She deleted. I could have probably just deleted it. I don't know why I did it all. I could have just deleted it.
It was fun. It was fun watching her go back.
Lord Muffin, more problem Derpy yourself. Derpy forgets to wear proper lab safety equipment and accidentally inhales carcinogenic chemicals. Derpy got cancer.
She gonna be fine. Ponies can't get cancer.
Really time to see. Hello. Oh, wow, Knight. Hello. Yeah, it has been a while. How are you doing? All right, we need
Oh
to get
yes,
some.
hello Knight.
We need to put some more horses on here. More horse.
It's okay, Knight. I don't get around here much either.
So you're here every day.
Like, physically, sure. But like mentally, I'm like in Nebraska or something. I don't know why Nebraska.
Why Nebraska?
I don't
There's
know.
nothing in Nebraska. Or is that why?
It's just my mind. It's just my mind and nothing in Nebraska. Do kind of wish you were putting more fillies on the tractor, but I guess we gotta suffer. We all have to suffer.
What about this one?
That's a cute one. Well, you're looking through her head. But she's the best filly on that tractor.
I'm so cute, Michael.
You are cute.
Hug me, Michael. From the inside of my head.
That might be difficult.
Brain hug.
Hug my brain. I would be concerned.
But see, Snails is there to take care of it for you. So he gives
leave
brain
her
hug.
alone.
Brain hug.
No. She just gets hugs from her mom. All the
Nobody
hugs
else?
she needs. No one else. Just her
Why?
mom.
Well, what happens when she's of age and she like goes on dates? What if she starts dating Snails?
Well, he is gonna have a lot of money.
Why?
Because he's like a sports star.
Well, yeah, he's gonna have all that brain injury and stuff,
Yeah.
and then he'll die early and she'll get all the money.
Exactly.
So
know where it's going.
basically, she'll be a gold digger.
No, she didn't do it. Like, she didn't kill him. He killed himself.
Planning for such a stone.
She's not planning for it. She's just like thinking about it. Like, she's like, he'll be dead soon, and he has lots of money. So, win-win.
I don't have it where he's kind of like grabbing on or something too. So why not?
I'd imagine he would need to.
It's been 3 months since I've watched you. It's been 3 months, really.
Time flies.
Oh, it's been that long. Well, welcome back. What were you doing for those 3 months? Were you busy? Doing important things? Doing not important things? Either of them is good.
I spend most of my time doing not important things.
Yeah, you do a lot of that.
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important that I do not important things.
I can't say much. I do a lot of that too.
If all I ever did was important things, I think I would go insane.
There's a certain amount of important things I can do before I just burn out. And problem is my job has had a lot of important things lately, so it's just been focusing on that. But this week is over. Today was actually a short day, so I got to take a little break this afternoon.
Did you get off around noon?
I got out, well, finished about 11:30, but I got out around noon. And then but next week when I come in, or for the assessment that we were doing, there was one part where basically if we don't, there's like, I can't remember how many areas we have to be assessed in, but it's like 140 areas that are assessed. And if any of those fall below a certain margin, all of them fail. And there's one area that is failing was failing in a stupid way. We ended up finding a way around that. But now there was one area that we were like seriously an issue. And then I found a project that I did a year ago that I was able to use as evidence for fulfilling that requirement that it just happened to do, because it was something regarding verifying that projects are done to maintain integrity of data quality. And I had done a project that was exactly that. And I was like, wait a second. And so I went and pulled it up. He goes, that'll work. I'm like,
you're somebody's hero.
Yeah, that was actually, nobody else will know. It was just me that happened. But I mean, I was able to save it. So for now, I am interviewed on Tuesday when we're back. I have to be interviewed for like 45 minutes in front of the whole team on process stuff that I do. Because I'm in charge of a certain part of the process that requires being interviewed. They didn't have me as the interviewee at first, and I said, no, you're putting me in, because if you don't, we're fucked. And so they said, okay, we're putting you in. Oh, I'm like, okay. So, yeah, it's been a long week. We did miss a right? I'm going to go on a trip for 3 days. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm coming back home Monday, so I may miss Sunday's stream. Sundays, I'm not 100% sure what we're doing Sunday, because normally we have the 5 of us playing Valheim, but Kyle and Mitch are both gone, so we only have 3 of the normal group. Oh, thank you, Knight, for the sub. Thank you very much.
Come this Sunday to watch me dance.
No, so
great.
We have 3 of the normal group, and then potentially one other that is available. So we don't have any plans right now, but we'll figure something out.
We'll be playing a video game. It'll be a video game. That much is pretty much a given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what the details of it are specifically, we gotta work out. So because with that group, we're just figuring out what works. So, but it's the holidays that kind of just is what happens.
So who here is excited for G5?
Yeah, there's been a lot of info on that recently.
Yeah.
I have seen none of it. Other than that, the voice actor thing, I have seen nothing about it.
That's really all there is to see.
I thought there was some extra video stuff that came out, which actually the video, like a couple gifs I saw, looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The quality looked like better than I was expecting. I mean, that's the movie, so the quality's gonna be better than any show.
Well, that's my biggest concern. Will they maintain the quality from the movie into the series? That is legitimately my biggest concern.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it, but I can see it being a problem. But we'll see.
It's just so easy with 3D to go into that uncanny valley. And
I don't think they've hit uncanny valley so far, but a lot of it has been a lot of motion, and the uncanny valley usually pops up with little motion.
Yeah,
it's the minor things.
That's why it's kind of important that they maintain the quality in the series.
Oh, what's this up in here? got out of school. Oh, nice. Congrats on that. Up into AJ's eyes, she's got goggles on.
Those will be
She's protected.
see-through in the final, right?
I like this right here.
Yes. Well, you have lots of cute horses.
Like everybody's freaking out, but then he shows Snails back here.
Reminds me
He's
that
like there's so many ladies.
yes, I
I'm
mean
in heaven.
he is in heaven. It kind of reminds me that
Screaming ladies are my favorite.
oh no, we learned something about snails.
Hello, ladies. Anybody want to scream at me?
I think he's just happy in general because the ratio for like males to females in this world is 10-1. So,
Well, there is nothing that states that. That's all been
No.
conjecture.
Well, it's been less conjecture and more observation.
Well, yeah, but again, if you're watching a show that is made for a female audience, generally, on a 50-50 scale, you're going to see more female characters.
Good for all the male characters, right?
Though you see more, it doesn't mean that there is more. If you were to watch a real life show that's female, has a female audience focus, you're probably going to see more females.
Why can't you let Snails be happy?
Oh no, he is happy, at least in this situation. Because there's one.
Yeah, he's
down
down
here.
here, but he's not even supposed to be that old yet.
I don't know. He's not. What, this one?
Yeah, he's not supposed to be that old. Oh wait, is that featherweight? No, that's pound cake.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, so it's not even technically one
He's
of the
supposed to be a
students.
baby right now.
He is. He's just a really big baby. Have you seen it? Ever seen like,
baby.
what was that movie with like Robin Williams? We got,
Oh, Jack.
yeah, where he's like got really old really fast. That's what that is. That is Jack the
I
Pony.
don't think you start out big or your mom would explode when she like gives birth to you. That would be horrible. It's dark.
Go neutral, so he needs to be freaking out a little bit. I'm scared.
But please don't stop the ride. It's his I'm scared happy face.
Okay, that's probably the best I'm gonna do for him.
Excuse me. It came out of nowhere.
You guys see that GTA 6 is coming out in 2025? Really? I don't know if they put that date out that far ahead of time.
I haven't played a GTA since San Andreas, and I'm constantly told that was the best one. So
San Andreas is good. I actually had I don't know if I mentioned before. There was it wasn't a glitch, but it was an exploit we did where the Vigilante mission in the game, like you drive around the police car, do missions to catch criminals. It had a timer, and it would be every time you completed one of those missions, it would add more to your timer, and it would up the amount of money you get. So the longer you go, the more money you get. Well, the military helicopter was considered police vehicle, so you could start a vigilante mission in a military helicopter with unlimited missiles. So as long as you were pretty good at flying this thing, you could just start the vigilante mission in the helicopter and just fly it around and just murder things way faster than the game intended. To get to the point, and there was no limit on how much it would increase your money. So I got to a point where I had 45 minutes to complete the mission, like because it kept adding time.
yeah,
And I was getting $2 or $3 million per mission, and I did it for hours. I had capped my money. The game would not allow me to make any more, but I could keep doing it and keep increasing the funds that came in. But I mean, I could go to dinner and come back, and it would still be doing the mission. It's ridiculous.
sounds pretty broken.
Yeah, it was a good way to make money.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing it for good. I was catching criminals that I was spawning.
Job security.
All right, we need to get snails on. Oh no,
What about
snails is
pumpkin
on there.
cake? Yeah, get
No, I want to get these two on there right now. Pumpkin, I don't care if he's on there or not. It was just a filler.
yeah. They are very iconic characters.
I like whenever I do in animations from motion editor, graph editor, my actions will always be stiff. Oh, that takes time. So Learning how to make things not stiff is I think, probably the hardest part about animating. Because anybody can make things move, but it's all the nuances of things to make it smooth that is hard, and recognizing where things are needed.
I would almost say with G5, from what I have seen, it almost seems overly animated, and I kind of understand the reason for that is to avoid the uncanny valley, because it's like you said, under animating would cause the uncanny valley with 3D, almost for certain.
So it's more, it's about, you either have to go all the way or you have to stop well short of. Mm-hmm. So and I feel for a lot of the cartoon stuff is they can put a lot of detail into the animation as long as they don't put a lot of detail into what it looks like. So, because to me it's not about whether or not they act too real, it's whether or not they look too real. Mm-hmm. So if they had if you try to look excessively human, it's when the motion doesn't match. You can make something that doesn't look human and is far to that side in terms of looks, but is very well animated, and then you're fine. It's the looks. It's because the uncanny valley, from what I can tell, is that your body cannot make out whether or not it's real or not, and it then sees it as a threat. So you get repulsed by it because you see it as a threatening thing. Where if your body doesn't know what to make of it, then it just is like, whatever, it's just some other thing, and you're fine.
I did see somebody posting and making a point about My Little Pony in general, G4 particularly. They were comparing it to like a lot of Japanese animes, and the animation for Japanese animes, and they tend to be very stiff, like the person won't move and only their mouth will move, or very little actual animation. And G4 was always very heavily animated. Like the characters were always moving. They were always like talking while they moved and stuff. They were far more animated than a lot of animes.
Well, anime is different. Anime doesn't even usually run at a high frame rate. Anime's whole shtick is spend all your time making cool fight scenes and reduce all your insight.
And everything else is like reduced.
So it's putting it where you need to be, otherwise keeping budget low. If you see background characters and a lot of stuff, they're just standing still.
Yeah.
Or even ones that are standing there in a conversation aren't even moving at all.
Yeah, but background characters aren't moving a lot.
But even the ones in conversation, you don't have to put much detail.
They'll be moving their hand or their arm, or they'll be turning an MLP. In anime, they tend to just stand still.
No, in the show, if they're in a conversation and they're not the one actively talking, they're probably just standing there still, not even moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they do that all the time. I had to I remade one of the episodes, and that's basically what they did. No, they do that a lot. You done?
Do you want one?
No.
Do you want one of those?
Yeah.
Whenever
you're done.
I'm getting closer to finishing this.
But no, in terms of like the detail for stuff, a lot of it is the initial thing I do is usually kind of stiff motion, but I think there's a couple things that I always learned when learning.
You need to fix that poor rainbow someday.
It's gonna crash. When I was learning animation stuff, there was. Yeah, I don't need to load that. There's this idea, especially if you use SFM for stuff, that any animations you do, you only rotate. And if you're using a rig, that's probably going to be the case, but at least for the pony ones, they're highly limited. So I oh, you guys.
Now they're all that's left.
Forgot to lock them. But like, for instance, boop, 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 horse, bam. So you have, I wish this would start closed. I could probably redo it, but so a lot of the ideas, and I think one of the things that I see a lot of people doing stiff animations for is because if they want to raise a leg, they just kind of go like this. Or if they want to turn the head, they just go like this. And that's not how you should do it. I brought it before doing pose to pose, but I recommend it a lot for a lot of even talking. So it's the main thing is you want to keep the body moving in some way or another. And that takes a lot of extra time. Sometimes just having somebody stand there not doing much can be time consuming. So instead it's about, you can usually make them go forward and backwards a little bit, but once you do, you just kind of pick the extremes of it, and then you can mix and match for the in-betweens. So like, let's say for instance, let's say that I wanted to have her turn to the side. I'm probably not going to... I'm not just going to have her go like this to turn to the side, because then it is looking stiff. If you think about what you would do if you were turning like 45 degrees to look at something, you're not just going to turn your head. Think about how you would move your body. And basically you would kind of like lean and basically turn your whole upper body. So this is what you want to do the same here. But I am going to start with my default here. And I'm not going to go and animate it. I'm going to just position it there. And I'm not using a rig, so I'm just going to lock the legs here. And this, I'm just going to go kind of cheap in some of the motion here. But let's say I'm going to have her turn a little bit. So I'm going to take some of these bones along the way, and I'm just going to turn them ever so slightly. It's the subtlety of it. It's not about drastic motion. It's just something to make it feel like the body is moved. Because when a camera is stationary, especially if you don't move a camera at all, you can see every pixel around an edge. And if you don't move them at all, you're going to continue to see every pixel, and you can easily tell that something is off. So I'm just going to match, like turn these to match a little bit. And the back legs, do they move? Yeah, a little bit, but these, you know what? I probably don't even need to bother with those. I'm just going to leave it as is. And now I'm going to say that I want to have her head and her neck turn a little bit. Let's even turn this. So I'm going to lock the shoulders so I can turn the chest a little bit. Oh, I didn't lock one of the shoulders. There. Just the top turns a little bit more. And that's, come on, there you go. Like there, and then her eyes are going to move to here. So now she's actually moving just a little bit in that direction. Okay, these legs do have to go a little bit that way. There we go. And now I can see, like, from here to here, does that actually work? Man, she still feels a little stiff in the neck. So I'm going to grab this. We're going to put it down a little bit, and we're just going to have her turn a little bit more. Now how does it feel? That's better.
I think a lot of this just comes with a certain level of talent to be able to recognize what looks good.
I would just call it time. The more you absorb stuff, the more you start realizing, just getting into patterns, and so you just start seeing, like, oh, if I need to do that, I'm just going to go do. So now, because I have that keyframe though, I'm just going to blend this. Okay, so it's a little slow. We'll speed that up a little bit.
So.
Okay, so let's say this is also the second bit. Is normally when I see a lot of people start animating, it's A to B. So they blend it or they animate it from one point to another point and then they stop. That's not really how even motion works. There's normally a transitionary motion, something to lead into or to move into the next motion. One of the principles of animation states to you're basically to think of what it is in the real world and then exaggerate it more than normal. So in this case, I'm going to say, like, oh, well, when she's going in that, I want to give her a little bounce. So we're just going to grab in here, and I'm just going to, I'm just going to lock the back legs. It's going to crash here in a sec. And I'm going to have her go down a little bit. Bend the legs. That. And then we're going to do the little follow through. So I'm going to keep her head delayed a little bit in the motion. Have it turned a little bit while going into the motion. and then have her kind of hit the top peak in the other side. Okay, and then we're just gonna grab the middle here, and I'm gonna close her eyes. Anytime I'm transitioning from one view look to another, I'm probably gonna have the eyes blink. And there. Again, the amount of time it took me, that I can do it a little quicker because I've been doing it for a while. But it's really just about building. You're going from one pose to another pose, blending it across. And when I say another pose to another pose, or one pose to another pose, it's everything moves to a degree. Blend it, add a little bit of a connecting motion between the two, and I'm doing motion editor. You can do the same thing with the graph editor or whatever, and then just the tweaks to make things work. One of the other benefits with the keyframe part, so let's say from that the keyframe is right here, bam. But let's say that like up here I have another frame where I need to have her go back and turn to look forward, but maybe I don't want to have her go right back to the same position. What you can do is you can take advantage of playhead. So playhead allows you to, wherever the playhead is, you can use the playhead slider to kind of steal the positioning from that, but anywhere from 0 to 100%. So I can say that like, I want to have her turn here, but then I want to have her maybe ever so slightly turn to look forward. I could reposition everything again, or I could just playhead slightly in this position so that you see I can playhead and go and take a little bit of the motion. I'm going to have her turn a little bit forward, not much, just a little bit, and then I'm going to grab the head and have her say turn forward here. So she's now back to looking forward, has full body motion. Everything in her body is now moving, but I didn't move any of it. It's just taking two different keyframes and then overlapping them. And when you start adding more and more keyframes for other positions, you can start stealing from more and more positions. That's where if I am going to have two different motions done, I normally will go as far into as drastic of a motion as I think could possibly need. Because if I end up going too far, I can just steal from the original to reduce it, but I can't steal from anything to increase it. So I'd rather go too far and reduce, because I can, it's not an undo, but it allows me to pick anywhere between those two to utilize as a keyframe. So that's just that's kind of my cheap and easy way on how I do things. Keyframing is very important. If you don't keyframe right now, I would look up information as to how to keyframe or how to do pose to pose, and then just experiment with it. So
I am curious, how would you go about animating a pony you want to drink juice?
how would I go about pony wanting to drink juice?
Yeah, like, how would you create that?
How would I portray that?
How would you create the pony? You should show us.
I know that you're just trying to get me like to show a pony drinking juice.
It's adorable.
No.
Oh.
No. You're looking at Argo rant. It's not a rant. I was helping. Well, thanks for making me learn how to do that. I'll give it a try. A lot of what it comes down to, though, is it's practice, and it's if you don't like what's there, don't think about trying to go through a process to fix it. Just start moving things. Start shoving things around. My favorite way to do things is not to plan it out. It's just to start dropping things in and then letting things flow through themselves. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it comes out looking like crap. You delete it, you start over. But in doing so, you learn something that told you that doesn't work. And the more you figure out what doesn't work, the better you get at refining yourself down to what does work. And then when you start refining that down, you like with that, as I don't have to think about the things that don't work because I already know what does work. I've tried everything that doesn't work. What is that one quote? That
pony should wear socks. I'm pretty sure that's.
I'm pretty sure that's not what the quote is.
Just type in quotes, see if it comes up.
Yeah, this one. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. That's kind of what I'm going with. That is do everything that doesn't work, and you'll eventually just get better at figuring out what is the thing that works. So you can either do what works and then just not know why it works and you didn't learn anything, or do everything that doesn't work and learn something, and now you know what path to go down to get to a correct answer.
So what doesn't work with ponies?
Fingers.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Crusher Girls is awful.
All right, Rainbow Dash is deleted. I am running into... I think all these extra ponies I put on here is having a real issue with memory.
You might need to start splitting up the file after this scene.
These files right here, there's nothing... Okay, this one I'm going to have to poke at. I'm going to have to... Well, even then I'm going to be loading another model, so it's not that bad.
I mean, off stream, you might want to start splitting some of this.
I've been trying to stay away from splitting files because it makes it really hard to judge coherent or continuity.
Yeah, but Source Filmmakers, but that's all I'll say about that. Also, hello, Warhorse.
Yes, hello, Warhorse. I think what I might do is actually, if I'm going to split it, I'm going to split it right here. Because this is a pretty big jump.
Yeah.
And I don't think I need to do too much in this one anymore, other than the Ponyville stuff. This shot right here is what's killing my memory right now.
It's got a lot of cute horses.
Yeah, it's all these unique models that are loaded.
Look at them all. They're being adorable.
There's...
What's going on with Snails there?
He fly.
He's flying. He just wanted to be part of the... He was outside when the tractor ran through, so he just wanted to be part of the group.
He's locked to the tractor, but I didn't actually playhead him to this position. So he was not actually set to move. Now he is. Oh, yeah, you probably... like, no.
I feel like the position he's in, he jumped on the tractor too. Snips and Snails didn't get caught on the tractor. They jumped on the tractor because they wanted to be part of the experience.
Okay.
That's better.
Because his head is hidden?
Yes. I just want him in pain.
Why? Because it's an analogy for yourself?
No comment.
I kind of want to have him visible, but I think having the legs
I don't
backwards is good.
I don't know if Stream is aware of this, but I'm not particularly fond of like the Colts and the Stallions. They're not nearly as cute. So it's on a cuteness factor. They rank low.
What's the main defining reason?
Those like round boopable snoots.
Yeah. It's round.
It is, but we all know he's just gonna grow up to be awful.
As he grows up, it's just gonna get square
and square. Like I was never really fond of seriously, I was never really fond of Celestia and Luna because they have square.
Hello, Sylvia. How are you doing?
I don't know why they made that design choice for the princesses. Give them square snoots.
Because I think that the sharp corners end up being... They give a sense of order and authority.
I guess.
I think that... I don't know, because I think that if they were rounded, it wouldn't work as well. I think that they were just meant to be big and in strong, and like it's like that cut chin look. So,
but it's not as cute. That's the issue.
But they're authority.
Can they be adorable authority?
It's
like Luna's still pretty cute.
You know who also is cute? Obama. I want my presidents to be cute.
Well, we're learning more about you every day. It's like Obama, Kawaii Obama.
Ooh, Obama.
It's a whole different level of cute. Furry Obama. Now there's a crossover.
Thank you for the advice. I was only posing on Lightning, and I already had a script for serious animations. Oh yeah, trust me, when anybody starting animations usually has a long, like, laundry list of content to make, and I had my own. I made none of it, but I had a list.
Oh no. Well, you deserve that.
Why is this broken off? Ooh.
That's what you get.
Why is this here?
I don't know. I imagine you put it there.
Oh, this is the. Oh. I think I temporarily put it here, and it just got like merged back for some reason.
Oh, have a good day, Warhorse. I suppose we will chat later.
Goodbye, Warhorse. Yeah, some of this audio got messed up. No, I did not save on. Yeah, my memory is gonna kill me on this. It's fun to learn this. I may do 3D animation in the future when I get my computer. Yeah, a lot of it is you can be told, and this is the way with anything, you can be told how to do something 1,000 times, and it's not going to mean anything until you actually start doing it yourself. Because all that does is it's information that goes in one ear, out the other ear, and nothing sticks. So it's only when you actually take the time to do it that you start getting the, like, oh moments.
Also, I want to say to Soviet Grapes, thanks for the derps.
Yes.
We hadn't said thank you.
All the audio is off. Oh my god.
How did all the audio get off?
It's probably from whatever happened in the file before. No.
You coming to some sort of realization?
No, I was thinking maybe it had to do with the copy paste of the other file in here, because it might have brought some stuff with it, but something is off on here, because this is supposed to be there.
It seems like an annoyance.
This is like, with the music that plays, this is like my favorite scene. Because the music is just like happy music, and she's just like, she doesn't know that she's about to die.
No.
And
Like, she's all cute and adorable.
Save it. Wait, what? Let's see what this puppy can do. Big Mac?
Is it still off?
yeah, yep,
Can't
just
really
came
hear it.
here.
Well, shoot.
Big Mac?
That's gonna take like a bit to correct.
Kind of. I'd have to I redo all the audio in post anyway, because SFM never times it correctly.
So you're just gonna leave it post, or what?
I don't think I'm gonna worry about that right now, but I do need to. Yeah, everything is wrong.
Oof.
It's all there. It's just completely mistimed, and I don't remember where all of it was. Like this part. So this part should be here, because I know it should end at this part.
I don't know. It's so mistimed. That's crazy.
Then she just screamed there, but she's not supposed to scream until like here. No. No. Okay, these screams aren't until here, and this one is right here.
Seems like it's gonna be a bit of reorganizing.
So yeah, this is all of it's wrong. Wonderful. So I feel like the timestamps for them got off by a percentage, and that's why it's just consecutively gotten worse. Because like this right here, this is supposed to happen right here.
It got all screwy, didn't it?
And even this is supposed to happen like here. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna...
I can sense your frustration.
if there's a pet peeve I have, it's redoing work.
Well, I think that's anybody.
And
Like, that's like the worst thing in the world, to have to redo something you've already done.
so this is gonna be here, I think. That's right here. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna call that good. That's frustrating because yeah, about half of this is still incorrect. No, I had a problem before that just completely corrupted it, and I had to recover it, and then it happened a second time, and now I'm concerned though that there's other things in here that are broken and I don't know.
Oh, you'll undoubtedly find them.
As long as it opens, I haven't tested a render. I keep forgetting to run the render overnight. Because
Well, now you can't even until you fix the audio.
No, I can. No, like I said, the audio only works if I do it all in one go, and I'm not going to be able to. And all the what you see and perceive as the audio coming out of SFM isn't always exactly what actually it is. The audio plays at a slightly, probably 1 or 2 frames, maybe more, different than what is actually going to be in the render amount. And sometimes an audio might not even render. It's their audio portion on SFM sucks. So what I'll normally do is the lip syncing I might do. So when I actually do a render, I might turn these 2 off and do a dialogue one. Might not. It kind of depends. This one I might not. What I'll do then is in post, I will make an entire layer that is just for audio compilation, and I will put together all the audio manually in post. So all this right now is mainly just there for my reference. It is not there for the final. That's why post work sucks, because you have a lot of complicated audio. I'm going to spend a lot of time redoing it all, but I need it for reference because I need to know what it feels like and what it sounds like and all that.
Squid Kid, I would say Valve is fixing Source, but they're doing it in Source 2.
Yeah, there's no more. Source is no longer, or SFM isn't a thing anymore. SFM 2 is.
They just gotta make it so that it's easy to transfer the models, and I think it'll be valid. It's very much in beta right now. Heck, I'd say it's an alpha right now.
No, it's a beta. It's a working thing. It just has some bugs, which normally are fixed, but they just don't have a team fixing them because there's no need when they're trying to get the new software stuff figured
Well,
out.
I imagine they're fixing them, but in conjunction with whatever they're working on in Source 2, which is probably whichever game comes out next. Knowing Valve, that could be a while.
Half-Life 2 Episode 2 Part 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Part 1. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Episode 2, Part 1. Or Part 2. It'd be Part 2.
Episode 2 Part
2.
Oh, it would be Part 2, yeah.
Yeah.
If they did that, it would actually make more sense than if they did the other one.
At this point, if they do release Half-Life 3, it better be the best game ever made.
I think that's the problem, though, is that you can't now. You're at a point where it would have to be such a blow. No,
I think
Valve could do it, but how do you... They're about reinventing, and how do you reinvent that genre?
Well, that's just the thing. I think they released that. They worked with the group that made the song Count the Three. And in the song, they even say, people are expecting another masterpiece. You have to give them another masterpiece. But
it can't just be good. Valve isn't about making a good game. They're about redefining a genre.
Yeah.
Like, if you can think of all the games that they've come out recently, almost all of them have set a baseline for something.
Yeah. Like, Alex definitely set a baseline for what a virtual reality
Yeah,
game should
Alex was setting a new baseline because it was a virtual reality shooter. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2 was redefined a shooter.
Yeah.
TF2 redefined a multiplayer shooter, like team-based type
Heck,
thing.
I'd say Portal came up with a very novel idea.
Portal created a puzzle game that was also a fantastic story.
Mm-hmm.
Left 4 Dead essentially just like created a genre.
It did.
So it's just they did a lot of that. So they can't just come out with a shooter. It has to be something groundbreaking because that's just Valve. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the reasons things are delayed so long.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, episodes 1 and 2 really didn't break any ground, but
It can't be Half-Life Alyx was a prequel. That's not, to me, Half-Life 2 Episode 2 ended on a cliffhanger. And any Episode 3, because most trilogies are about your first one is building the problem. The second episode is everything going to hell. And then the third one is the redemption and the recovery. So this is the one where they have to like win. They have to like succeed at something. And so Alex is just a prequel to all that to give extra context, but it's not part of the trilogy. You can't end a cliffhanger like that and then call the one after that doesn't end the cliffhanger. You don't still see Force Millmaker 2. It's there.
you need to finish Alex. That's all I'm gonna
one day.
say. It's very important.
There's an update. It's a big update. No, it's
I gotta show Source 2.
I'm not going to open it, but no, if you open up Half of Alex on Workshop Tools and you have to download something special on there, it's built into these tools. You don't need Half-Life Alex to get it. I think you can just get it without.
This is kind of why.
But it comes with all models then.
It's kind of why I refer to Source 2. It's kind of still an alpha because you can't even get it as a standalone right now.
And then here we go. That's Source 2. So I'm not going to click it because I'm not going to bother with it, but that would basically open up SFM in Source 2. So it exists, but it's inside. Instead of having it as a standalone thing, it's actually built into the mod tools, which isn't a bad thing. It actually then integrates it with all the mod tools. So it integrates it with the particle editor, the model viewer, the model loader, texture editing, map editor. All those are integrated in with it instead of being separate pieces. That's a much better approach for something like that. So it makes it more on par with other 3D animating and software as such.
I think the bigger thing that Source 2 is capable of is it is able to handle models with far more polygons and faces. So you could probably do like Blender quality animations in Source 2. And I think that'll be a pretty big jump.
The problem with it is when the Source Filmmaker was built off TF2, and TF2 is cartoony, and these are cartoony. So I think that SFM has always worked really great for it because it's engine optimized for the style that MLP brings. So if you were to suddenly go to something that has a lot more detail, I feel like then you're going to fall into that not an uncanny valley, but a valley where you're adding a lot of detail to something that naturally and what people know as doesn't have that detail. And now, which side of that are you going to? The models as they are can't, which means you'd have to make these much superior models to get over that hump.
Have you seen some of the Blender models? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, but again, if you want to use those models, it is an immensely larger amount of work to use them.
Yeah.
You have the more control you give, the more time it takes to use it.
Yeah.
So yeah, most facial stuff for like not games but movies and stuff, it's not sliders. It's individual bones that you have to individually move, or you have to map it. So it either means that people have to have super fancy, expensive software to map a face of something and then map it to a model. Not going to happen. Or to get some of those details, you're going to be reverting to what this does anyway, or spending hours and hours meticulously moving lips individually by bone. So the reason I like SFM isn't that it's looks simple. It's that it is simple because you
Yeah.
can make things quickly.
I would say that these models actually look pretty good. But it would be nice to be able to load Carousel Boutique, for an instance, as a single model, as opposed to 3 broken
No, you
pieces
could,
that
you could,
crash.
but you converting it from a much higher polygon model
Yeah.
and learning along the way. If it was built to work within the engine, it would be much easier. It could be a single model easy.
Yeah.
All of these are single models. Why can't that one?
Because it's square.
Well, that's the thing is with that model, it's not a like what about these?
I mean,
Like this, it goes boom boom.
yeah.
And so it's not about if you have a round surface, it's not about having tons and tons of polygons to make it a round surface.
Yeah.
You flatten the crap out of it, and then you use your like AA and all the other processing stuff to simulate and smooth those edges. A lot of these, if I were to tell it to just bring in lighting as the polygons hit it, it would look like crap.
Yeah.
But the engine just knows to smooth out those edges. That's what the anti-aliasing and all that is.
It's, yeah, with Carousel Boutique, though, it's just straight up a round building with a lot of round
I know, but
holes.
I mean, this is a round thing too. But you see that
Kinda.
this is round, but it's round. It goes from here to here to make a polygon.
The building isn't round.
No, but I'm saying like, but each of these is a polygon.
Yeah.
So now this has to go and make all the polygons around. But in that, you can make it round, but you just every foot is a polygon.
Yeah.
And then, but when you back up, it all looks fine. Yeah, it's going to look a little blocky, but you're working in a game engine, so you have to treat it like a game engine. You're not supposed to treat it like Blender. And that model was treated like Blender and then converted messily because you didn't know. Because
I knew what I was doing. I could have reduced it, but I didn't want. I think my big primary concern is it wasn't my model, and I didn't want to alter it in a way that the original artist might.
If you alter
find.
it enough, then it's your model.
I don't want to alter it. I want it. It's the original artist's model, and it turned out pretty good.
Well, except for the crashing thing.
We can't be certain.
See, before you were like, "Yep, it's me," and now I'm like, "I don't know," and you're like, "Yeah, I don't know."
I don't know.
Alter it. Yeah, see, blurred. Well, blurred. You can't. You know what you're doing.
Blur, you saw
That's different than Michael. He doesn't know what
I
he's
know
doing.
what I'm doing.
You spent like I think you asked Blurred questions, didn't you?
I did, but he didn't. I mean, thank you, Blur, for your response. It wasn't helpful, but thank you all the same.
I told him like ask Blurred. He knows what he's doing.
Well, he basically
He
just
makes
told me,
butts.
He told me to do the same thing that I already tried, and it was pretty much like, oh yeah, I kind of already tried that. It didn't really work, but thank you. No, I made it work. I got the model into the program. If it's crashing, then that's a whole other issue.
Then that's a you problem.
It's not a you problem. It's an us problem. But I think it can be resolved. I know what you told me to do, Blur, but
But he didn't listen.
No, I did listen. It just broke the model a little bit, so. Like, I had already tried that, and it kind of just made it look bad.
I told you to redo it.
It didn't look as good.
It broke. Well, no, it's not that. It's I'm having some crashing issues, and so far it's only caused crashes and not just crashes, but like a breaking of the file when that model is loaded and saved in within the file. So I'm a little hesitant to do it again because so far it's 2 for 2.
Like, Blur, I got the model into Source Filmmaker, and I can save it to a file and load that file. Whatever he's got going on here is what broke it. It's a perfect model.
See, before you shut up. I got a very heavy glass object over here,
Oh no.
but I have to finish drinking it first because it's not worth wasting the booze.
No, I am quite proud of how it turned out. The Carousel Boutique model. I don't know why it's crashing his game. It didn't crash mine. That's all I'm saying.
When you're the one that works on something, you have everything. When you go to give it to somebody, you're only giving them part of what you originally had. So there could be something floating there that wasn't passed on, or it could be that Give me some virus Trojan crap.
No, I think that the model itself is probably fairly intensive because it does have a lot of faces. And loaded with everything else you have in the file. Yay, derbies.
Yeah, derby.
Hey, derby.
I love that animation.
But loaded with...
Hold on. What did Mike try to do? Here's a derp to ask in my steed. Okay. What did you do?
I ported I ported Carousel Boutique that somebody had made in Blender into Source Filmmaker, and it was no easy feat to do so while maintaining the quality of the model. But I achieved it, and it looks gosh darn good. And but I'm thinking, and this is my thought, that you want to type in Boutique, not Carousel.
Why not? Why?
Because I named it Boutique.
It's bolder.
It's bolder. I ported it in, but I'm thinking because it's a relatively high intensity model.
You just crashed me looking at it.
Everything crashes this file now. It's too big.
I know, but I could use it as an excuse this time.
Which kind of brings me to my point. It has a lot of faces. It's a fairly high intensity model, and I'm thinking everything else he has in this file is just that combined with Carousel Boutique is causing issues because it's maxing out the RAM immediately.
No, it's not. There's no single model that could ever do that.
No, not by itself, but with everything else.
No, but it can still load the file. It's not even looking at that specific file. No, let's load in. I want to. Oh no, actually, I hit the wrong.
You have to load in all the parts.
No.
And then
see.
Move them all to default.
Why?
Why what?
Is there so many across this edge?
Yeah.
Why is there so many of these?
It's the original artist.
Because each of those polygons is taking up an immense amount. Each of these, oh my god.
That's the horse.
This has more polygons than the actual horse models. Why does it need to be that detailed when you're looking at it from 80 feet away?
It's fine. It loads fine.
No, it's... Why is this have so many polygons? This could be done with like probably 30 polygons. And it's got 300.
I could have optimized it, but I didn't want to take away from the quality.
No, I don't give a shit.
I can redo it
like
with
this,
lower quality.
This sphere probably going to be fine.
It's high quality, man. Did you want quality or not?
This is, you're like talking about the horse, but this is so many look how many polygons there is there. Thank you for this sub, Luigi. It needs even more polygons. Look how many, this alone has probably more polygons than a horse. Wait.
That's why I had to split it into 3 models.
I know, and each of them is at max.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this thing.
What?
You said you reduced it.
No, I didn't reduce it.
What is this?
I wanted to maintain the quality.
Oh my god. Look how many polygons are in these things.
I need a drink because you're like insulting the high quality of the model.
Like the wireframe from a decent distance just looks like a solid model. Look at this flag.
Yeah? What about
Look at this. What is this? Oh my god. You can't...
That is a little off center. I need to fix it.
I don't care if it's off center or not, but
I didn't even notice how off center that is.
Through the circles. This is like a speck of dust and it's got 400 polygons.
The model in total has about 1 million polygons.
Who would notice the details? Nobody. And that's the problem, is when he comes in...
I'm noticing that it's off center and I need to fix that.
In any gaming, because we're working in a game engine, not a 3D engine, and that's where... and that's what you have to treat it like. And in a game engine, it's trying to give you the most with a minimal amount of resources. In a 3D software, it's built to be efficient for that stuff. So it might take a long time to render, but you can still render decent stuff. It's just going to take a while. And this, it's all live rendering for the most part. So it's about keeping the polygon level as low as you can.
It's not going to be background Squid Kid. It's going to be forefront and like a 1.5 second shot.
No, it's going to be about this far away.
Yeah.
It's not forefront. It's a focus,
I
but
didn't make
like literally
just for you.
each of those houses that are loaded have as many polygons. Like, okay, like so let's do
Load it and show them how pretty it is, and then have them judge. It's very pretty. Look how pretty that is. Look at those, like, horses. Look at that detail.
it's just a big mush.
No, it's the Carousel Boutique horse.
But all that, so if we go to back up to here though, so the bottle's going to probably be visible from here.
Load up the whole thing.
No, because your roof's not
It's very
fixed.
pretty. Yeah, why is that off center? I
Like,
didn't
look,
notice that.
why
How
is
did
there
I
so
not
many
notice that?
polygons for these little things?
I was simply the porter
But no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so
and
let's.
the retexture, and I redid the UVs and other stuff.
Okay,
They're
so
square. That's not fair.
look how many polygons are in here.
They're square.
No, the squares, sure, but these are the round roofs.
They're not round. They're triangles.
Yeah, they're rounded on all the
Yeah,
edges
thank
here.
you for more derpies.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Time 1,600 times the details. Thank you very much, Spike.
I made it for you.
No, you see how this still has a rounded surface, but
Yeah.
it only has boop, 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 and it's done.
It's still a triangle.
But look,
though.
I can back this up, and like this right here is the most amount of detail, and this is
If
like
any building that you have that can even really compare, it's the town center.
you want me to load that one?
Yes.
Actually, that one isn't probably going to be one you want to actually have me load because you're going to be very wrong. Because that's an old model. So if you want,
Yeah, but at least it's round. You're showing me square buildings and comparing it to faces for a round building.
so this one. Oh wait, oh, sorry, I did that wrong.
And I'm well aware it's too many faces.
Okay.
No, it's better. Yeah. But it's still a lot of faces.
No, it's not. This has probably as many faces as one of your circles. Because look, see on this edge? That's, bam, bam. Those are single polygons all the way around. With the other one, I had to zoom into this level to even see that it had polygons.
Just, like, it's fine. It's going to be fine.
No, that's what I'm saying. And it's not your fault. It's that you started with something super detailed that wasn't built for that purpose.
Well, I tried reducing the polygon count, and I did by
Kind
about...
of scary what it was originally.
No, like by... No, I didn't for you.
Oh,
like-
not for me.
Because I reduced the polygon count, and I thought, do I really need to reduce
Yes.
the polygon count?
You do.
It messed up the windows a little bit.
Neat. Don't care. She's renovating.
It'll work. It'll work. It's fine.
Um,
I'm very drunk right now, so it's fine.
yeah, it's just the software is not built for handling that kind of
It really isn't.
stuff.
If it was Source 2, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No, if it was Source 2, it would still struggle because it is not built. It is still a game engine. You are giving it something that is optimized for 3D rendering. SFM, no matter what, 1 or 2 is optimized for gaming. So,
Why do you hate Rarity's house so
what
much?
makes things look detailed aren't the amount of polygons, they're how they utilize textures and bump maps. Most games have very low polygon counts. All they've done is figured out ways to make it look like it's more detailed. Most games nowadays, if you were to actually look at the models, they're probably lower polygon than they were 10 years ago.
If I sent you a lower polygon version, would you try it? Or are you just giving me...
If it's a single model.
Oof, that's a hard... That's a...
Some of those circles alone, you could just be like, you could make it 8 polygons and I wouldn't even tell the difference. If we're not going to be uploading it for anything, it does not matter because you're looking at it from here. this looks decent, and this entire roof right here is basically a single polygon.
I will attempt, but if I have to redo the UV mapping, then all bets are off, because that was a pain in the butt.
But no, I mean, if it's not even allowing me to use it at all.
Well, no, you could use it. You just have to put it in scene all by itself.
Which means that anytime I go to use it, I have to go completely load it, reposition it, deal with it. That's not how I do final rendering. Final rendering is I'm done. I hit the button. I go to bed.
I
had one video, Australia. I had to do that with grass. Some of the grass in that. Once I close the file and reopen it, all the animation would be broken. I would have to delete the model and reload it to get the animation to come back, and I have to redo all the animation. It was the most frustrating thing, and I had to do that. But then anytime I had to re-render it, I had to go and completely redo the whole thing. It was so annoying.
I wanted to do what you said, but then I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine.
No, but you say, he says, do as I say, and you're like, I did, but I didn't.
Well, I did what he said before he said it, but I didn't like the end result as much as not doing that.
Did you do it when he said it? You don't know.
Oh, I have to do it when he said it.
Yeah, there's a magic in his words. Terrible people. Yes.
Of course. Terrible people.
Yeah, you go give him a Yelp score.
I tell you.
God damn.
You know what?
Yeah, as soon as I load this,
Go, everyone here, go download my Fallout 4 pony.
Please go make me a happy person again.
Not enough people are playing with the dog meat as a pony.
Oh, you know what we're gonna do? Okay, we're gonna hide the Philly pile.
The Philly pile. I want a Philly pile.
We're not gonna deal with pumpkin. Not for the show anyway. So I'm gonna load it in. So we need Cheerily. It's Cheerily.
Yes.
Does that have does that mean anything?
I've seen some. I think some of the comics have her as a cheerleader, and then there was the one episode that had her as a cheerleader.
But she's a teacher.
Well, yeah, but she was young once, I think.
No, she was born an adult.
No. But it's kind of sad because her key mark or her name basically implies that she'd be an amazing cheerleader, but you can't do that forever.
No, you can.
Like, you get sad at some point.
No, that's just you. Did you want to be a cheerleader?
I mean, of course.
I mean, be what you want to be.
Those skirts are very flattering.
Actually, she spread cheer. Okay, that I can understand. That she's just a pleasant person.
Well, her key mark is a bunch of smiley faces. She's a good horse.
Go mute that.
She's cute. Look at her. Little smiley faces on her butt. But you're trying to break her neck and you're failing.
No, I did. It just was the wrong shot.
Oh, now I'm sad.
She did know.
Oh, I said she was adorable, and your first instinct is to murder her.
It's okay, because look, she's happy about it. She's it's like, Shirley, do you like murder? I like being dead.
Oh no.
She's fine.
Well,
and you know what's even better? Is when you have pawns that die and they're self-cleaning. Because then she just...
Say it.
And then she go...
I'm saying now.
Get back alive. You get back to work.
Yeah. Be alive. Go back to work. It's like your Australia video. That's as soon as Twilight brought all of her friends back to life, she put them to work. She's like, we have things to do. I brought you back to life so that you can clean. Like, that was my true intentions.
All right, so I want to have her kind of look out the window here. I'm gonna
window? It would just be like a hole in the building.
Hey, what's the difference? Well, I guess, okay, it'd be more of a door. To me, a window is a door you don't use to get in and out.
You've never climbed through a window?
But at that point, it's a door.
Have you ever climbed through a window? Because I've done it lots of times.
I think I have, but I can't remember a specific situation. We actually had a situation where one of my friend's sisters was grounded in her room. So she removed the frame from her window, pulled the nails out and everything to completely remove the window and to get out. And because she wanted to go to Perkins with her friends. Mm-hmm. And so what did she do after being asking to go to Perkins and being told no? She went to Perkins. Mm-hmm. We knew where she went.
Yeah.
We just went and walked in and said, get the fuck in the car.
I mean, I got grounded when I was a kid, and I totally climbed out the window and like took off. So I can't really say much.
You never went back. You've been on the run since.
I didn't remember it. I got grounded, got put in my room, climbed out the window, grabbed my shoes, which were on the front porch because they were covered in mud. So I already had my shoes out there. And I just, I put them on and took off. Went to my cousin's house and hung out. Played Atari. I was a little scamp.
I love how kids will do like legitimately illegal and bad things, and then it's to do the most stupid shit. like, yeah, I went and started the building on fire, and so I could play Super Nintendo.
Yeah, gotta get that Mario 3. That was something like that.
We all did stupid shit when we were younger. You did a bit more than I did, but
no, like I know I told you the story where I used to, for fun, I would go to different houses and find hornets' nests with a broom, just knock them off and run. That was a good time. That was like a whole evening.
Did you go cow tipping?
No. I didn't live
because there's no cows.
There were no cows. Not in the trail, near the trailer park, anyways. When I was like 13, there were cows everywhere, but I can't say I ever went cow tipping because I don't think that's an actual thing.
No, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, when they're asleep. As far as I know.
I think that's more of a TV thing.
Nope.
No, my mom pooped through. Like, she would grab, like, the horse's dung.
I didn't read the text. I was really confused as to what your mom was doing.
No, we had horses growing up, and we would be walking through the pasture, and my mom would just pick up horse dung and toss it at me and laugh. And be like, that's disgusting. She'd be like, it's just grass. Like, it's grass that passed through a horse's digestive system.
It's like if somebody goes to take your doo-doo from a toilet and then says, it's just pizza.
Yeah. Right? It was nasty, but she would do it all the time. It wasn't like an isolated event. If she was walking behind me through the pasture, which we did often, because we went down.
But why'd you keep letting her sit behind you?
There's this thing about trusting your mother that you keep forgetting not to.
Well, lesson learned.
No, I never learned the lesson. I just kept getting poop thrown at me. It was horrible. Because I kept trusting her not to, like, abuse me when growing up. To be fair, I was probably, like, she did it all the way up until my, like, mid-20s. She kept throwing poop at me. So.
When you go to visit them and you walk in the door, just snacks.
Immediately, hi, Mom. Womp.
Hello, son.
This is poop. She thought it was funny. She was weird. I had a weird
quality upbringing,
right? No, I love my mother. She's great.
By any chance, did the knocking down hornet's nest with a broom thing make you a fast runner?
And I mean, that was the whole thing. We knocked down the hornet's nest, and then we just ran and ran and ran until.
Do you even know, like, if anybody got hurt from the hornets?
I don't know that anybody got hurt from the hornets. Hort.
Anybody get hort?
But we did have.
Oh wow, they got the pains and the horts.
We did have some people come out of their. I lived in a trailer park when I was young. They came out of their trailers, and they heard us just beating on the side of their trailers with the broom. And they weren't too keen on that. They were like, "What are you kids doing?"
What if you found out that they were allergic to bees?
Well, like,
and somebody died.
like hornets?
Yeah.
I don't think you mean allergic to hornets.
You can be allergic to anything.
They don't inject anything into you. Hornets don't.
But they can have
They just-
stuff on them. What if somebody
What?
died?
I don't think anybody died.
You don't. Wait, no. Okay, repeat what you just said.
I don't think anybody
The
died.
fact that you are not certain actually is concerning.
I mean, the bigger thing was when I was a kid, and I know I've mentioned this a couple times to you, where I threw bees at people.
yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I love how I'm like, you maybe kill. You're like, hornets can't hurt people. I would never do that with. Oh, okay, I did it before.
This is my mom again. She did teach me that you could catch a bee in your bare hands and it will not sting you as long as it
Have you ever
cannot.
got stung by a bee?
Yeah, lots of times. But not because.
They won't sting you at all. I've gotten stung tons of times.
Well, it's because I used to run around a lot when I was a kid barefoot. So
Oh, okay.
I would step on bees.
I had a friend that actually got stung on his eye.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't lose his sight or anything, but
Oh,
he
that's
got,
good.
But yeah, he got fucked up by
Like, did it actually hit his eye?
his eye.
Oh,
I think it was
that's-
shut it, but it just went through. But yeah.
That's like nightmare.
Yeah, that makes now I'm scared of bees just because I'm like, no.
Just
no.
because of that. Yeah, I don't blame you. No, but my mom taught me and that I would wait for a bee to land on like a dandelion or something. And then I would cup it in my hands. And if a bee cannot see, it will not sting. Because it will not, it's like,
Are you sure? Are you reading into the bee's mind?
I'm not reading the bee's mind. I just found out through like doing it.
So you don't know why it's the case.
Oh, I assume that if they can't see what they're trying to sting, they won't sting. If
So your
they were-
scientific measures are, they haven't stung me yet.
Exactly. The one time they did sting me, no, this was my fault. A friend of mine was like, you can catch the bees, right? And I'm like, totally, because I've been doing it for a while. And he's like, let's put it in this jar. And I catch the bee, and I'm like, okay, I got the bee. And he's like, put it in the jar. Thing is, it was just a glass jar, so of course the bee can see the second I try to stick him in the jar, because the jar is clear. So the bee stung my hand because it could see. I was a dumb child. And
I just think it's funny that you're like, the kids are like, show a bee in a jar. And I'm not
Yeah.
making fun of you on that. Everybody that's been a kid has done
Yeah.
something stupid like that. They look back like, what was I thinking?
But so the bee stung me, and I remember it very vividly, because my mom was like, "We gotta pull out the tweezer. She got the tweezer, and she's like, wanted to pull out the stinger. There's just a stinger in my hand, and I'm like, no, it'll hurt, and I go running away, like I didn't want her to take the stinger out, because it would hurt for her to take the stinger out in my child brain. So I took off, and then I came back about an hour later, and my hand was super swollen, like twice its normal size. And I'm like, okay, take the stinger out. And she takes the stinger out, and I didn't even feel it, but
Well, yeah, because at that pain you have no feeling.
no, I had no feeling in my hand. Like it was completely numb.
I love the mentality that's like that. Like if you have one pain, that if you make another pain, it will numb the original pain. And it's like, I have a headache. If I stab myself in the arm, I no longer have a headache. But now you have the stab pain. I guess some pains are easier to deal with, but still.
I mean, you hear enough of my stories, and I kind of realize, looking back, I had a very redneck childhood, for sure. Like one of the fun things we used to do was just climb inside of a barrel and roll ourselves down a hill. We used to do that all the time. It was fun.
This is why video games exist.
Yeah. Children don't stick themselves in barrels.
Jeeves Michael are like a supervillain tossing bees and terrorizing people with hornets. See, yeah, this is actually most supervillain like upbringings have like some tragic backstory, and you're just like, no, I've always been evil.
No, like legit, there was kids in like, grade school who would pick on me, and I would just wander around the playground during recess to find bees, so I could like catch them and then throw them at the kids
So
who picked
don't
them.
fuck with Michael, or he'll throw bees at you. That was not the laugh I want to hear from that.
Yeah, but that's totally what I did. Like if kids picked on me, I just threw bees at them. Because I was an evil little snot. Oh, good times. Kids are great.
No, kids are stupid. And you're just helping like prove that.
Yeah, but we were all kids, stupid kids at one point or another. I was just exceptional. Exceptionally stupid. Heck, I even remember one time as a kid going up to a teacher and reciting the entire Grandma got ran over by a reindeer because I was super proud that I remember that song.
Okay, yeah, that's a normal kid thing to do.
Yeah.
You, and you do that at work. I mean, we do that in the future. Where like you're at work and then you go to your boss. You guess what I did? Guess what I did? And it's just less exuberant.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Chat. Tell us some of your stupid kid stories.
Oh God.
Oh, this is a good train of thought. Also, Cheerilee's cute.
Okay, so she does need to have her. It's adding a little bit of stuff to her here. So we're gonna have her eyes go down a little bit here. Yeah, that's good. And I'm gonna have her.
Howdy, Sunset. Glad to have you join us.
Hello, Sunset. Happy Friday.
Happy holiday weekend.
It is. There was nobody at work. I got like, I basically got like a parking spot. Like our parking lot is multiple places, but I got up towards the front. But there's a large portion of visitor parking, huge section because we normally have a lot of visitors that come through, especially foreign markets. And the one of my coworkers, I was walking out with her on and when we were leaving. And she's like, yeah, I got really lucky today. I got a front spot, and I look over it, and it said visitor parking, and I look down, it's exactly where she's parked. And,
Oh, well.
And I look at her, and I look back at the sign, and she looks back at her, and she goes, oops. Because it is pretty, it's a bad thing if you do it. Normally, nobody's parking in there, but if they do need those, they can sometimes fill up every one of them.
If it's like an important visitor. Yeah,
Not on that
especially.
one, but she's like, yeah, I got really lucky for the spot, and then it says visitor parking. It was.
Did she move?
Well, no, she was leaving for the day.
Oh.
So it was fine. But I thought it was hilarious. Somebody say he hasn't learned from those experiences. Oh no, Michael never learned anything in his entire life.
I've spent my entire life making poor decisions. It's been great. It's made for wonderful stories.
I'm gonna get rid of her eyebrows because I do not want it.
Oh, just enjoying life. Realizing some of those wonderful decisions are just wonderful.
Yeah, when it comes to being a kid, though, we all make really, really stupid decisions, but it's like I mentioned before about like doing a bunch of the wrong stuff to figure out what the right thing is. A lot of that's being a kid. Is you make a lot of really stupid decisions, and then you look back and you know that they're stupid, but now you know not to be that stupid
I just
anymore.
love how many of my stupid decisions as a kid was spurred on by my mom. Like, she was like the catalyst to so many dumb decisions. Even as a kid, she would tell me that as a kid, like her friends and her would legitimately jump off a bridge that she got hurt on multiple times. The like splash in the water below. And so I think to myself, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you? Like, my mom was like the example of the kid who would say yes and did. So she was great.
I don't know if that's quite the example of great.
No, like she was. She might not have been the best parent, sure enough, but she was a very interesting person. I'm lucky to be alive, as well as my siblings, growing up with a mom like her.
Hey, Mom, we're going to go and bash some hornet's nest and roll in some tires. Be back later. Okay.
She's the one who put us in the barrel.
Okay. Now it's sounding like she was just trying to get rid of you.
No, she's like, you know what would be fun? If you guys got in this barrel and I pushed you down the hill. She was the one on top of the hill, like, kicking it off. Like, that's who my mom was. She was the one who taught me to catch bees and everything else. Because that's what she did when she was young. And, like, she used to love riding horses when she was young.
So this is Darwinism in action, and you just happen to, like, roll a 20.
Yeah, I survived.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Like, she was very much into horses growing up, and she rode a lot of horses. What? I took care of horses growing up.
I know, but like,
horses. Yeah, I've like,
and then what could you say throughout your life?
well, I can't stand real horses because I spent too much.
They're not boopable.
Well, I spent too much of my childhood shoveling their manure. You can't really like horses. You can't like anything when you spent most of your life shoveling their poop.
Well, Sunset says, I once had a bit of parking war going on in the office I worked at. I resolved the issue by pulling up the no parking sign and switching it for the supervisor only parking sign. Not 20 for not winning a Darwin Award. Running into a cactus while learning to ride a bicycle. I actually had a nice, we had a ramp when I was younger. We were, get up as fast as you can on the bike and then go to the ramp. And I had a friend kicks the ramp right before I got to it. I'm going like 30 miles an hour on a bike. I'm going as fast as I could down this bit, which is normally fine. But he kicks the ramp, which he was meaning to get it out of my way, so I just keep going. But instead, it turned it. And at that speed, all it meant is that when I went in the air, I just went sideways. And I went sideways, hit on the side of my bike, and just skid across the ground until I stopped at a stop sign, ironically enough. But it completely shredded the side of my leg. And to where, all the way from the bottom of my thigh, all the way up past my knee, or past down my calf, all the way up the calf, past my knee, all the way up my thigh, just scraped up. And I was wearing jeans, and it just scraped right through it. And it messed it up pretty bad. I had a giant bandage over the whole, because it was just road rash of mad. And problem was I was trapped under the bike, so it was just holding me down. I really couldn't get out of it or like try to roll or anything. Yeah. I don't talk to that guy anymore. That guy was a fucking asshole.
Wait, what was this?
That's like 15, 14.
Okay.
It's a long time ago.
Because I remember you messed up your leg too when you got trapped.
No, that was a work injury.
Yeah.
So I had a work injury and this was
This is when I knew you.
Yeah. And so this is interesting story because it actually has.
Hold on to it for a second.
No, it has it's a remembrance story to a degree. So Remembrance was finished in like late September, but originally was meant to be released right after BronyCon, which was in August or something. The reason there was a delay was because I had a work injury, and so right after BronyCon, I was at work, and if anybody's worked on a dock, when you're on a dock, you have a truck that backs into a door. And when it backs into the door, there's usually like bumpers or something so that when the truck hits the door, it's not going to like metal on metal. It's going to go bump. And then they're like, I hit the door. And then they don't have to like worry about it. But there's usually some gaps that are around there. And so I worked in OS&D, which is overshort and damaged, which was for damaged freight. And so I checked a lot of trailers for stuff. And somebody comes in and says, hey, you might want to take a look at this trailer for something. So I went and looked after they filled it. And I got down and you could see there's purple goo coming out of the back of the trailer. And I'm like, normally means that somebody on a short skid speared through a drum. because there was a lot of goop, it meant that there was a small leak or some kind of a leak because they speared the drum. I'm like, well, we got to get this crap out of here so we can figure out what the hell's going on. And so we started backing it out, but it was difficult to get some of the stuff out. So I was standing in the trailer helping them lead some of the stuff out. So I'm walking with the stuff in the side, and I'm kind of sidestepping with the freight as he's pulling it out. And there was that little gap right by the door of the trailer. And it's probably about that big, maybe. And I'm walking with it. I can't even look down because I have about that much room to work with. And my leg goes down that hole. And the hole goes all the way to the ground. So it's well taller than I am. So the only thing that stopped me was my knee. So all of gravity, nothing to support me or stop me or to grab onto, went all the way down on my knee. And it was with a sheer metal rim. And I immediately pulled my leg up and went, oof, that hurt. And kind of like waved it around, jumped around, and goes, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine, nothing, no problem. And I kind of went about my day for whatever. But I kind of limped for a little while, but I'm like, it'll be fine, whatever. No, it wasn't fine. It was, so I went for about 30 minutes, and then I'm like, I need to sit down. And so I sat down, and and then I actually decided to lift my jeans up. My jeans were like pretty torn up on the side. If I wasn't wearing jeans, oh my God. There was a good amount of scraping on the side, but that wasn't the problem. It was the impact of my full body weight on my knee on the metal that caused the problems. It did a severe amount of bruising. Within about 30 minutes, my pants were already fitting too tight. I had to, by the time I got home, I had difficulty getting my pants off because my knee had swollen so much. That was Friday night. I streamed that night. I don't know. You could probably even find the recording back in August or September of 2015. I was probably watching. And I was like, I have to end early because it hurt too much. And I ended up going to the ER. They compensated me for it because I went in Monday to work, and then I went to the ER that night because I think I tried streaming that Tuesday or that Monday or Tuesday, and then that was where my foot grew to 3 times its size. It was huge, and I thought I had a blood clot. And they're like, no, you just bruised yourself so bad that there's so much bruising that it is literally moving within the leg. And I couldn't walk for about a month and a half. And so I couldn't finish the video because I was locked to my couch. I still streamed. I streamed from my floor. I sat on my coffee table, under my coffee table from my TV. But I couldn't walk. I was stuck to the couch for about a month something, and it was rough. And I had pictures, but I'm not going to show them on here because they're nasty. If you go to the Renaissance Fair and you buy a turkey leg, that was what my leg looked like.
Mm-hmm. I've seen the pictures. It's nasty.
It's interesting. But I mean, it's fine now. They said at that point in 15, 20 years, I might have some knee problems that might come out of it, but I have the number for workman's comp and they would still cover it. So it's fine in that regards. But no, I can still move around fine. That's all I care about. Life happens. You get injuries. It's whether or not they're permanent, and so far it's not.
I'm pretty happy. I guess I haven't gotten any injuries. I mean, I certainly have my health problems, but I can't say that the worst I've ever done is break my pinky toe 3 times.
Was it my pinky toe? I think I broke my pinky toe once too.
I've broken the same toe 3 times.
I broke mine walking.
Yeah.
I just walked wrong and I stepped up. No, I broke my big toe.
So dead. Oh, that's worse.
I was walking down the stairs and I stepped on my toe and it sounded like a gunshot.
You were just walking down the stairs?
I happened to walk and the toe went underneath my foot and all my body weight went on it, and I think I popped out of a socket or something. It sounded like a gun going off, and I completely went face first onto the ground and it screamed.
How did you step on your own?
I don't know. Why do you put bees in your hand?
To throw at children. Why else?
Yeah, that one hurt. I spent quite a while recovering from
How do you step on your own toe, though?
Don't judge me.
It's impressive. I'm just impressed. Yes.
Golf clap.
I stepped on my own foot. The same foot, too. It's just wow.
The worst part about that leg injury one, though, is my normal places when they say no work injuries, it does not mean that there hasn't been injuries. They only consider it an injury if somebody has to take time off of work because of the injury. So if they're being paid to sit at home. And I never missed a day. even though that was on a Friday afternoon, I went home and I came in Monday and I worked every day since.
You worked your entire time when your leg was messed up?
I could drive in. In the time it took me to get from my home to work, I had to keep the foot elevated, or all the bruising would pool so much in my foot that it would be a problem.
They just kept you to a desk job? For the
So
work
I had
the time?
so well. Most of my job was at a desk. They just they allowed me to not go outside. Basically, because if I wanted to, I could threaten that I would just stay at home, and then that would be a problem. But I just had a trash can that I set up, and I was being paid like minimum wage at this shit.
Yeah.
Well, not minimum wage, but I wasn't being paid enough to do that job, and that's why I left. But no, I went in every day. Driving though, because it was at an angle, it basically was, and that was my driving leg, my right leg. So I would have to rush to get to work, and I would have to take my time. Well, I'd rush, but I'd have to take my time, because if I didn't, I'm using a beat up leg. The leg worked fine. It was just I couldn't bend the knee. That was the main problem. I could bend it if I took like a half hour to fully bend it, but then it would take me a half hour to bend it back, because it basically has to move all that junk out of the way. I had one night where I went to go to bed, and you get so used to it, you forget about it. And so I went to lean into bed, and I bent the knee, like gravity pushed too hard on the bed. And that is the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I screamed in the middle of the night because of the amount of pain that was. And I remember just laying there like in shock of how it was. Yeah, after that I was a lot more careful.
Were you living on your own at that point?
No, I had my roommate. But all I did was I would go home from work, and I would sit on the couch, put a pillow under my leg, and I'd be there until sleep. Mm-hmm. But sleeping was difficult because I had to sleep on my back. There was nothing else I could do.
Yeah.
So, but really, when you're in that much pain, sleeping on your back was fine, because it's just like, I just want to sleep.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Argo forgot how to walk. No, essentially. But really, the main thing was when I went to the ER, I only had one question, and that was, is there going to be any permanent damage? And he said, based on what we're seeing, no. That's all I care about. Mm-hmm. Shit happens. I don't care if I'm temporarily unable to walk. I don't care if I'm unable to... I had a week where I couldn't hear because I had a bacterial infection in my ear. I don't care, as long as it's not permanent, because permanent means that you live with it. Anything else is a temporary setback in life, and that's all life is, so whatever. And so when he told me that, I'm like, okay, I'm fine. And after that, I was in a good mood about the whole thing. I played video games anyways. I just had to do it from the couch now. I played Civilizations. I learned that with the Steam controller, you can play a Civilization with one hand.
I hate to play Civ with the Steam controller.
No, with one hand. That's all you need. So I could just lean back. It was like a Joy-Con. It was awesome.
Yeah, you do like the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, but it was with the Steam controller. Because the paddle in the back did next turn. So that was really the main thing. But yeah, I did a lot of Hand of Fate was another one. Just game. Yeah, I played a lot of couch games. I think we're all good.
I do like leaning back in the chair and playing. I play a lot of PC games on a keyboard, but there is something nice about just being able to lean back with a controller that you can't really do with a keyboard.
She's not really... She kind of just slides out. I'm gonna try to give her more, oomph.
No, permanent injuries aren't fun. I speak from experience. I wouldn't call what I have an injury, but yeah.
Yeah, because anything that's temporary is it's part of life.
Yeah.
Permanent is the stuff where then you're going to have to deal with it every day forever.
I cannot scream. Note. I am incapable of it.
So, that gives me options.
Yeah. No, I am incapable of screaming loudly. Like, I've attempted it, and all that comes out is air.
Which is funny when we're driving and I have the windows open, because conversations, he
I cannot speak up loud enough.
I know he does this head turn every time he tries to speak loud, and it's hilarious. So he's when I'm like, Michael, blah blah blah, he's like, okay, maybe not the go but
that's exactly what I do.
But no, he always turns his head when he tries to speak loud. So
no, I can speak very boisterously or I don't know if that's the best word for it. I
don't know, boisterous. You can be boisterous.
I can be a bit boisterous, but I cannot scream. Like if I like somebody like in a locked alley, like like that kind of scream. I can't. I simply do not have the lung capacity to achieve such a feat. But I do all right. So,
well, you don't need to scream.
no, I don't know that anybody really needs to scream, so it's fine.
Oh, that's the helper on that side. Oh yeah, I don't have a helper on the other. A permanent issue with an ear that causes me to have vertigo attacks. They diagnose it as lymphatic hydrops. I guarantee it's from the military, but it's so old that they'll refuse care unless I have had vertigo attack on duty. I don't know what my cause is, but I do have vertigo. I have vertigo issues where every few months I'll have basically the inability to I can't walk straight, and everything makes me nauseous, and closing my eyes to go to bed is a spin attack where I have difficulty sleeping because if I can see something where I am, I'm fine. But as soon as I close my eyes, and it's because my ears give me wrong information, my eyes can give me truth. But I had an attack about 2 months ago, and it was a rough time. I think I canceled one of the streams because it was just like, if there's too much moving on the screen, then my eyes start fooling me again, and it's an issue.
I know when your ears are bothering you, just by seeing if you're drinking like that ginseng tea.
Well, I have an issue where, if I'm just scrolling like this, and I think that there's going to be more, and I hit the bottom, but I think there's going to be more, I will get vertigo. I get very bad vertigo. So I know how you feel on that. I get pretty bad on that. But I'm just kind of used to it. It's part of life now, so it's either I get used, either be angry and be depressed about it, or I just deal with it. I chose to just deal with it.
That's all you ever can do with like physical impairments is just deal with them. Yeah,
because I'd rather do that than like live my life trying to figure out, or to be depressed or about something I can't control. If I can't control it, then whatever.
I mean, you just develop a dark sense of humor. That's all.
Concussion was caused by face plating into the sidewalk, and the bone break was from banging it on a sharp metal corner. I've never gotten a concussion. My sister got one at one point.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, those are. If there's one thing that I haven't gotten, I never want to get is a concussion, because those are. There can always be some permanent stuff on that stuff, and that does not sound like fun to me.
I'm pretty sure I had one when I collapsed on the steps that one time.
Yeah, maybe. I would rather have broken bones or cuts than a head anything. Yeah. Anything to my head, I do not want.
Well, yeah, because your brain is who you are. Like everything else is just an extension.
A brain it's not just about that. It's interacting with everything else in your life, and I already had the vertigo thing, so I don't want to have anything else giving me wrong information.
Right.
I'm already having enough problems with that. Don't give me more.
It's like, yeah, any kind of like head trauma is the worst for sure. Like, take the lungs, weaken the heart, whatever else.
Okay, the heart's kind of like an important thing. But
weaken the heart. Don't stop it from working.
Like anything limb related, I actually don't care about. If I were to suddenly lose an arm,
I would care.
I would care, yeah. But I would rather lose an arm than like have a head injury.
Well, yeah.
But like, because I can figure out how to make something work with one arm. I can figure out if I lost a leg, I actually probably wouldn't be that mad about it, as long as it was needed to be done to like ensure that I was.
Prosthetics are pretty great these days too.
Yeah, they're a lot. Well, I'm not even worried about that. I already spend most of my time in a chair. Give me a freaking cane. I'm good.
Just keep my,
as long as I can get. I would not want to be in a wheelchair. Like the people that are stuck in a wheelchair, I have huge sympathy for, because that's not just an inability to walk. There's huge other life changes.
Well, when it comes to like, if you get to the point where you're dealing with like issues with using the restroom,
yeah, that's stuff like that.
That's where it gets
relying on others for stuff. So this piece of wood is not.
Like, I never want to get to the point in my life where I have to wear like a diaper. That would not be fun for me. And sympathies to anybody who has to do that kind of thing.
Well, thank you, Nolan, and congrats to Alexander for getting a guest sub. Congrats, thank you, Nolan, very much. Actually, Nolan, I wanted to ask, how is your Gunfire Reborn runs going? Have you beat the game yet?
I feel like I need to play that game now.
It's so much fun.
It's like furries, but roguelike. That's what I've seen of it.
Oh, I did that wrong. No, it's a roguelite shooter that just every run is so drastically different that it's just fun every time because you're not just playing the same run every time. Mm-hmm. You can go a completely different build and like make it work, and it's so fun. There's so many variants to it, and the game is cheap. Like, I mean, they just. I
do think there's something for a linear shooter. Which
yes, $10 right now.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's only $12 normally.
Oh, it's all the Steam.
No, that is actually. I thought it was more expensive than that. It's super cheap. It's really good though, and they're constantly adding new content.
Is there?
Yeah, beat normal. Like level 70. Cool. Have you? So you're still working on Elite then? Schizophrenia, if that counts. It has since the day I was born. In fact, I would say that I have one heck of a sense of humor.
I mean, any kind of disability.
Well, it sounds like you're at least able to work through it, which is the hard part. So good on you for being able to make light of a bad situation.
I think the more trauma anybody deals with in life, the darker their sense of humor tends to get.
Mm-hmm. Nolan, did you want to do a game or two after stream? Because I haven't played it in a little while. We can see if we can beat Elite.
Sounds like a hoot and a holler.
Well, not on stream, but probably on Discord.
Yeah. Still, hoot and a holler.
I don't like how this just like this.
I kind of like it.
You know what I'm gonna do? Actually, I'm gonna say that this goes up, and then just never comes back down.
No, I like how it just falls at the very end.
No, it doesn't. It's too. Everything else kind of bounces around, and then that doesn't. I don't like that.
Oh, can't you have it bounce a little bit?
May I watch that gameplay? It'll be on Discord. It sure sounds good. Yeah. Well, no, we'll just pop into Discord and go from there. Yeah, and this is another one. This one right there.
Don't worry, chat. I will someday play somebody in a game of Pong.
You are free. You are free to go buy the game and join our Elite session.
Is it more than 2 players? Up to 4. Well, that is
me and
fancy.
Mitch have been in me and Mitch had the game and we played it quite a bit together, but we're the only ones that really play.
I mean, it's
so cheap. That's the main.
Yeah.
It's so cheap and it's just fun. It's a shooter. It's a shooter, but actually they've added melee, but.
Well, yeah, a lot of shooters have melee. Like it's like
try my best standard. No, there are definitely runs in that where you're like, yeah, I didn't get crap.
No, I might buy it.
I think I'm like one or two. I think I'm like level 161, and so I think there's only 2 skills left. And they're expensive, but they're class specific.
It kind of sounds like you're closing in on the end of your play in that game.
No, so the game has three main difficulties and then 1 like tier difficulty. So there's normal, elite, and then nightmare. And I've beaten it on nightmare. And then after that, it's a difficulty that is much harder, but it takes the currency that you get from normal runs and uses it to help boost your performance in there. So you can't do it nonstop because you can't keep affording it. But I want to get everything leveled before I start running that.
I do tend to be fairly good at those kind of games, bragging a little bit.
Well, but it's a roguelite, not a roguelike. So there is leveling mechanics that without them, you are going to struggle.
Yeah. But I imagine there's some level of skill that's involved too.
It's recognizing what skills work well together, but it's mainly unlocking crap because there's hundreds of unlocks, and without them you can't have the diversity to make a good build. I think we're good on this shot though. I can't really think of what else to add to this no
More Phillies.
well, right now there's none because I haven't turned off. Oh, actually, one that I have to add. Let me double check here. Yep. We're gonna grab our tractor. So this is tractor 2 and tractor 3. Okay, we're gonna turn off our stuff here. Our locks. We're gonna go tractor 2 is right here. Tractor 3 is right there. Okay. So without, with. Okay, the main thing is being able to see the wheel. And I can see the wheel. So we are good.
Don't need 3 tractors again.
And this is 3 tractors.
No.
See? 3.
Oh, look at that.
No, that's why I did it, because without 3 is what I've been finding to be like
That much blur, are you gonna be even able to see all those Phillies? Because
probably not really, but it's not that the effort in this wasn't to ensure that the Phillies were on there. It's to ensure that the coloration is there, and that in the later shots I can copy paste this and reuse it.
Okay, so you are gonna have a shot with all the Phillies. Like,
Yes,
being-
but I want to
okay.
try to not do any shots that look. I don't want to do any shots like this where it follows the tractor. If I'm going to do it, I thought about doing something like this.
Yes.
Because up here, I'm minimizing how many I have to actually animate. There's only a couple. Like these 2, I don't really have to do anything with. I just have to have them look around a little bit. These ones, I might have to add a little bit too. But I think the shot is entertaining enough that it would be worth it.
It's very adorable. So that is important.
And then like have it like zoom in on her,
Yes. Applejack, what have you done?
and then like do the like camera spin thing. Can't see doing something like that would be neat, and it looks good in your head. But zooming in while things are moving really fast, and then having the camera move forward and also spin just means blur hell. Not gonna be worth it.
Well, you won't be able to watch it because it'll give you vertigo.
Yeah, actually, I build a lot of nightly when working on one of the original trailer for the Argo Zone, had a lot of the videos going up the side, and I told him, I'm like, a lot of this is moving too smooth, too fast, and it is literally giving me vertigo. And like, it might not be a thing for a lot of people, but for me it is, which means it could be for somebody else. So like instead of it having single videos, we overlaid them at angles and had them go back slower. So the reason they're like that is so that like it wasn't making me sick. But he was very gracious and put the time into doing it, and I very much appreciate it because now it doesn't bother me as much. Very, very smooth, consistent motion like that over a non-moving surface will make me nauseous. I've actually found very when they have like the seizure warning, very like flashing lights, I actually find that also bothers me.
Yeah.
So when they have the warnings come up, sometimes I just won't watch stuff.
Now, someday I'll have to check out this Argo Zone you keep telling me about.
There's actually we feel like 6 videos in there now.
Yeah, but I hear that I'm in some of them. That makes me not want to watch them so much.
No, we so the next Argo Zone comes out next Tuesday. I think Knightley's got some RL stuff going on and some other stuff going on, so I think he said he'll have the current next one done on Sunday. We always try to have it done a little earlier for early release, but if RL stuff comes up, RL stuff comes up. I'm not gonna be like screw whatever. So so it's gonna be a little later on that, but we have another one coming up.
I'm sure it'll be swell.
Believe it or not, I am still wrapping my head around the lighting mechanics of SFM.
Oh no!
Okay.
No, you've opened up the portal.
Well, no. Lighting mechanics. Is there something you're confused? I love the lighting in SFM, and I've learned some of the things that like work and don't work. Do you have any questions in specific in regards? Specific questions. Very generic questions are difficult to answer, and actually I have a full like 20-minute tutorial actually on my YouTube that covers lighting stuff. But if you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any questions coming up in the future, the whole point of the stream is to ask questions and answer questions. So feel free to ask. Otherwise, I think I might actually. Is this one basically done? I can't think of what else to add to this. I mean, I don't like how undetailed this building is, but I'm not looking at it from an angle. So I kind of want some music with it, but whatever, audio later. I feel like the lighting is not bright enough, especially like on Shirley here. Ooh. That does kind of work, but I feel like I want to add a little bit more to her. Yeah. Michael shenanigans make Argos on videos interesting. Well, and Mike or Knightley had mentioned before. He goes, sometimes this puts you guys like when you discovery is what I call it, where you're trying to find the funny stuff to put in some of the videos. He had mentioned that sometimes he just likes to play it in the background. And hello, Knightley, you're probably watching this later. And he says just his fun entertainment and watching stuff, and that's one of the reasons we want to do the podcast thing. One of the, but we have everything basically ready to go forward with podcast stuff. It's right now the difficulty is scheduling. It's just getting all of us in one place at the same time, not just to do one episode, but to start going forward with stuff. Because this weekend is July 4th. A lot of the people are already out of town or not available. Next weekend we have a friend visiting, so that makes it also difficult in that scheduling weekend. You're out of town
around the weekend of the 25th.
So you're out of we could try to schedule to like record the first episode this weekend then. I think that's going to be the best bet.
Yeah, like I'm out that entire week, and that following weekend too.
This weekend. So yeah,
those 2 weekends.
So, this weekend too?
No,
16, 17?
I'll be here like the 31st.
Oh no, okay, then that's perfect because we'll make it work. First time we record, I want to have the 4 people that we normally want to have in there. I don't care if the second episode we bring in somebody else to fill in a gap.
Yeah.
But the first episode, I want to make sure we have everybody. So yeah, that's been the main thing. Is me and him live together, but then Kyle doesn't have to travel that far. But then John is quite a distance, and so I don't want to start and suddenly like out of nowhere put a requirement on him.
When are we all meeting up together? Is it going to be this weekend or next weekend?
For
just like movie.
We're meeting tomorrow.
Can't do it then.
No, because we're not here.
Okay.
Because this is where the setup is. Can't record a podcast in just some random location of like put my phone down.
Well, it's kind of what we did last time.
Well, we did that as a test.
Yeah.
That's different. Now I have a fancy setup.
You do have a fancy setup. I hope we get to use it someday.
Soon. But no, we do have a pretty fancy podcast setup now that I do want to get to using hopefully soon. So just it's my thought is as soon as you flip the switch to start doing something, I now want to keep doing it, and I'm hesitant to flip it until I know once it's flipped we are able to do it consistently, and I don't feel that comfortable right now. In a couple weeks I feel we are, but there's too many holidays and people visiting right now to make that difficult. For the first episode, after the first, I don't care, but like about bringing other people in. But the first one I want to have be everybody. I think she's bright enough now. Yeah, I think she's fine now. I want to at least have her so that she stands out. And I think she stands out enough. Is that lighting going to have any effect on them going through?
I feel like Shirley's just like, those were mine. Give them back.
Not really.
No, those are.
I want to make sure that like the light that I didn't put there isn't. Oh no, a little bit. I can see like right here. So what I can do here is, so this light that comes down, I can't see it making any effect on anything other than just her. Okay, so what I'm going to do is from here to here, we're going to 0 the light. So then it comes on after everything's went away. There we go. I am going to consider this good. Yeah, I was trying to get a sepia tone type lighting. I see in the game, Bendy and the Ink Machine. I don't know what that is, but sepia I understand, and I'm having some trouble doing that. So there's 2 ways to do sepia. One is post. Do whatever the hell you want through it. Bring it into like After Effects or some other video editing software, and then add like a sepia filter. If you're looking to do sepia within the engine, there is a way to do that, but you are changing the original render, which always bothers me. But you are able to do that. There is a layer here.
Is sepia where you have it too bright in the middle and dark around the edges?
No, that's a vignette.
Okay.
A sepia is where everything is basically like a shade of brown.
Okay.
Kind of. So there is an effects overlay, and so you can add an effect that I'm going to let you know right now that I can't remember 100% how to do this. So I'm going to kind of just tell you how to do things as I'm clicking buttons and probably doing it wrong. So if you actually go here, add clip to track, and we're going to add color correction effect. This is all recorded. You can rewatch it again. I'm not going to go too slow because, again, you can watch it again. So we're going to add a color correction. Let's just expand that. I'm not going to do anything right now because we haven't done anything to it. We're going to go into here, or right click it, show an element viewer. Like I said, I'm trying to learn this as I go again. Mm-hmm. There was something you can do here. I thought it was in here. It's not fun. Maybe it's not color correction. Let me try this again. It's not this one. I thought it was color correction effect.
I would think if you're trying to change everything to like a shade of brown. But that does seem like something that would be easier to do in post.
Oh no, well to me, whatever your original render is, you want it to have to be untouched as much as possible before touching it. But that's assuming that somebody has the ability to edit and all these other things. If you don't have the ability to edit a video file and you're just doing direct from SFM, I'm not going to fault you on that. So it's about what options are there for doing that.
Kind of curious what the freeware option would be for something like that. There tends to be a freeware version for everything.
If you actually pay attention to Humble Bundle, every now and then Humble Bundle will add a
After Effects? Vegas.
Like the full version of Vegas. It'll still be like $30-40, but you get like the $500 version of Vegas for cheap. It's not a bad deal. Is it engine post effect? I can't remember. It's been literally. This added a vignette.
Yeah, it did. That's what I was gonna say.
I never actually played with this one.
Like I can't remember the last time you tried to make one of your videos look old timey. So.
But I did that in post. I was hoping there was a sepia button. What is blue? I didn't do anything.
I never know what blue means.
Blurred vignette?
It doesn't really seem to do anything.
Blurred vignette is useful. It's where it just blurs around the edges. But, maybe I gotta change this to like a scale number? I'm learning. It's not doing anything.
Like vignette really...
TV Gamma?
Oh. Make it look like an old television? All of this seems to be like to make it look like old film. Which is novel, but I don't know that you would use it too often. Unless you were trying to make something look old.
What's your viewport effect? No, it's not. There is an option for doing color correction. It might take some other looking up, but as far as I know, if you do a color correction effect, and you should be able to add in. There's another menu you can have pop up that will allow you to do sepia. I can't remember the full thing for it, but look up SFM or like color correction overlay and see if that helps.
See Sunday sunset.
Phone type lighting as seen in the game. Maybe have some proper floating pencil signature he's made. No, a lot of that you probably wouldn't even notice. It'd be too small. Home bundle is crack. I actually bought the 1 year bundle like in February because their yearly games that they release are actually usually 1 or 2 titles in there that are actually worth the bundle for the cost. I think it's like $200 for the year or something, but the 12 games you get, normally 3 or 4 of them are ones that I would actually play. I got Control recently for the bundle that I was planning to get at some point anyway. I got Wayward. I think I know some other game, Moving Out, which is one we play on Switch. So it's a good deal. But it's all gamble.
I think Humble Bundles had a few titles that made their debut. Some indie titles.
They're a publisher on some things.
Yeah.
And the publisher and store. So yeah, there's been some. The maps themselves I'm using are gonna be fun in the workshop. In the game, they are sepia colored, almost like you're walking through. Oh, so the map itself is sepia colored. Yeah, that might actually be difficult then. See you later, Sunset. Because if you add a sepia filter, it's gonna be like doubling up filters. Then you're talking about if the map itself is sepia, that you would have to actually modify the texture, the textures of the models themselves to be sepia. That would be tough. It would actually be easier if the map wasn't sepia, because getting things to balance, because a texture isn't just a color. It's how does it interact with lighting? How does it balance? How does it have light go around the edges? All that stuff plays into how light affects it. And so you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 different models that have all the exact same texture, but all look different. And so trying to modify a texture, like especially with a model that has 5 or 6 different textures, to have them all look the same is not actually that easy. I think a lot, if you have a sepia on there, no, even if you had a filter afterwards, you're still going to be putting sepia on sepia. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
That's going to be tough.
Having an entire map like that seems like...
It's beneficial if you have models that are... And actually, that could be beneficial, like, for, say, you wanted to have an effect like they did with, like, WandaVision. You want to have specific parts that come into color. But usually, it still would be better to just have everything be in color and put sepia over what you don't want to have colored than to do the other way around.
It seems like you would have to have a different map for every shot just to make it work.
Maybe. You're going to have a map no matter what.
Yeah.
But when it needs yellow and orange lights of sorts. Yeah, trying to do a true sepia with lighting, though, that is really hard. Because any light you portray is going to interact with the color of the object that you're hitting. And that is... But true sepia is a basically a black and white of a brown color. So that would be very tough, if not impossible. So good luck. But if the map is already sepia, there's not much you can actually do in that regard. Because if a character's in front of a background, the light is going to hit both. I've actually had that problem, like, say, one of the reasons I actually don't like working with, like, Rarity or Sweetie Belle, working with them both at the same time is fine, because they're both very light colored models. But say that I load in, like, Twilight. Twilight now is comparatively a dark color. So if I shine a light at both of them, Rarity is going to probably be brighter and Twilight is going to be darker. So with the same light, I'm now getting very different contrasting looks. And I will have to play with, like, the models themselves, the textures on them, to balance things out. And that isn't easy. So it's... I think... I don't think I'm going to actually see it in here because they're, like, kind of floating. But like, say in this shot that he was lighter and she was darker, because like the coloration. I could go into her color and decrease the brightness by like 5%, which is so all textures have a property called color, and it is a vector, which means a 3-part. It's an R, G, and B. And if I wanted to, I could drop all the R, G, and B to 0, and it would make her texture completely black. Or I could put them all to like 200%, and she'd be like twice as bright. But I can pick and choose between those numbers if I want to like change hues and stuff. So it does mean though that if I want to, I can say she is too dark, he is too bright. So I'm going to go into his texture and drop his color value to 95% on R, G, and B. That will make him slightly darker, ever so slightly, but it might put him on par to match the lighting of Scootaloo then. So like, for instance here, and it might have already done it, who knows. Let's say I went into Rumble here, and I do add override, and that's going to change that now to remove override because now the override's enabled. I'm going to go to show an element viewer model, and I was going to have all his materials listed here. If you don't have override enabled, you're not going to see the materials group. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to go to, you're going to have to do this on multiple areas if you want to do this right. Basically, you want to do it on like probably body, wings, hair, and tail. But let's say I go to body. Body is like, say his texture on his body is too bright. I'm going to go to add attribute, vector 3, which vector 3 is because this is the only one that allows R, G, and B. I'm going to go to color. Oh, no, with the money sign. Color. So it's going to default to 0, 0, 0, 0, which is RGB of 0. So he is going to become black because I'm still going to see some little coloration on the edges here, but this isn't the model that's giving that. That is Fong. So Fong is trying to simulate lighting hitting around edges, and that's just a part of the VMT. So Fong is enabled on these, so that is what's creating that kind of edge. It's a false way to provide a 3-dimensional aspect, even though, or without like ray tracing or fancy lighting. So you're going to be seeing that no matter what the texture is. And you can change the color and the brightness of that. That's a separate discussion. But in this case, I put it to 0, 0, 0. If I go to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 is 100%. He's back to normal. He's normal rumble. If I went and said 10, 10, 10, now he's going to be very bright because I have said that R, G, and B are now at 10 times their base value. Super glow rumble. And I mean, you can take this like a step further, and if you want to have him be like God Rumble, you can make God Rumble. That's fine. And he is now God Rumble. It's saying that all light that hits at every point that it is hitting his texture is now 100 times as bright. In this case, every part of him at 100 times is basically reflecting back white, so he's just a glowing ball of bush. So if I go back to 111, now the Holy Rumble, bless him.
Bless the rums.
So now think about this. So if I have 111 and he's normal, and I go to 000 and he's completely blacking of color, well, now I have a complete middle ground between 000 and 111. So if I want to, since it's RGB, I could go 100, and now he is Red Rumble. If I want to, I can go as 010, and now he's Green Rumble. To a degree. So right now I'm working with a gray model, which means that any of these colors I add are going to basically be at 100%. If I was working with, say, Scootaloo, I'm working with a base of orange, so if I wanted to make her all red, I probably could. But if I add any amount of any other color, it's going to be mixing in that orange again, because that is her base. With him, his base is gray. Everything kind of, gray is like white, it just mixes all evenly.
Would you say that this is easier than changing the texture file itself, or would you change the texture file?
Well, it depends. So if you wanted to actually change the color of somebody, I would probably recommend changing the actual texture file, especially if you're going to use them multiple times. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to load hundreds of ponies into a shot, which I've had to do, this is a great way to save RAM, because you can load a single pony or like 3 or 4 pony models. I've done it before where you load 4 different variants of different models, and then retexture each of those 4 with a white texture. Retexture them all to white. Reload the texture by using this method for all those white colors 5 times. So you take 4 individual models, and now you've turned them into, multiplied by 5, 20 unique models. But in RAM, they're only 4. So I've done that for, this is just a side thing. I can't show this whole thing because it is not my video.
That is still going to get released, right?
At some point, I have no idea. It's not my problem anymore.
I've been looking forward to it for a while now.
So this one. So that's the only way you can get this many ponies in a shot. Is all of these it's the same like 7 models that are multiplied by 3 or 5, something like that, to take the same model that's loaded and using overrides to provide the color to increase it. Otherwise, there was and even this was divided into sections of 3. So this is one render, this is one render, this is one render. This is for something else. Like I'm not gonna talk about it, but this is a video I did for somebody else, that was the only way you can put this many people in a shot, is to save RAM. But I recommend not doing that for general use, because if you're going to use it multiple times, you don't want to have to do the overrides every time. Anyways, I'm just saying you can. But the nice thing is, so say this is his normal color. And you're like, I need to get his, maybe he's too bright. He's slightly brighter than the other person using the same lighting. Well, you can go in here and be like, well, I'm going to use 0.95.
Hello, Snowy, by the way.
95.
Nudes.
Did I miss Snowy?
Yes.
Sorry, I was reading up to that. Hello, Snowy Motorcycle. How are you doing? Happy Friday.
Yes.
So if I go to 0.95 to 0.95, 0.95, I'm basically dropping all the colors by 5%, but I've dropped them evenly. It's basically just darkening it, because again, I'm working between 1 and 0. If 0 is black and 1 is normal, any percentage in between is just working towards black. So now, it's just slightly darker. If I say 0.8, 0.8, 0.8, it's just a little darker than that. So I can now balance his brightness with Scootaloo's. The one area, so you can do that with the hair, you can do that with the mouth, the tongue, the teeth, the wing, the hair, everything, except the eyes. The eyes are the only thing you cannot do that with. Thankfully, they're both using the same eye texture, so if whatever's brightness is on Scootaloo, if it happens to be okay on Scootaloo or whatever other character was, darkening the other one should make the eyes still fine on there. But it does mean that, though, that you cannot darken the eyes. And the reason for that is because color. So all of your normal body textures are fitting under vertex lit generic, I think. It's a certain type of property for how those textures are handled. Eyes do not follow the same property. And because of such, they do not use the color property. It is not in their library, so you cannot override with that. If you want to recolor the eyes differently, you're going to have to actually modify the original texture. And in that case, you're looking at some difficulties because it's a lot of like trial and error. So, but nonetheless, this is actually a very useful way to modify textures to make things work. I did this multiple times. I can't really pop this up because it's not going to be visible because of whatever. But if you actually go into like Apple Bloom here, you see I have an override. If I actually go into here, on materials, on body, I have her at 90%. It adds a bunch of random decibels because it's trying to round or whatever. But I actually decreased her brightness because her brightness, being a bright yellow compared to the orange and Applejack, was actually too bright. So I dropped it by 10% and then it put it on par with. So I did that. I do that actually quite often because it's either that or I have to uniquely light her, which is even more complex. And both Applejack and Apple Bloom should use the identical eye texture. So whatever the texture for the whites of their eyes are probably pulling from a common folder. So whatever's hitting her eyes is hitting her. They're hitting both their eyes. So if one's works, it works in the other one too. Who's friend behind you?
It's Chicken. This is Chicken.
You're saying Chicken is friend?
Chicken is your friend. I don't know who else
is Chicken your friend?
About. No, Chicken is evil. Chicken is evil incarnate.
I'll give you that.
Yes, and you can't trust this chicken. But yeah, there you go.
But if you're talking about this other guy that's right here, this is Michael.
Yes.
He also goes by the name Roommate. And also assaulter of my floor.
Yes. It's adjusting my seat.
I hope that answers your question, kind of, at least on how you can utilize. Because the way I look at things for lighting is there's two ways to look at it for any problem. Is say, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. Is you might have a small problem that you're dealing with, and maybe it has absolutely no solution. But maybe something you can do could be to modify everything around it to make it so that that is fixed. But now you've made everything else a problem, but maybe everything else now is a problem you can fix. So in this case, it's similar to that of I can't fix the lighting is all different. So I'm just going to modify. I'm going to completely change the way textures are utilized on this character in multiple different ways to move it up to the level that works for things. So always think about if you have run into a problem, think about what that problem is in its inverse. So in inverse, it's think about the problem and everything around it, and invert everything, and now see if. So if you have a small problem and everything else working, invert it so that now that isn't the problem and everything else is, and is everything else now solvable? It's not about whether or not it's annoying to solve, but if you cannot solve it originally, maybe flipping everything on its head is the way to solve the problem. It might be annoying, but it's a solution. I've had plenty of times where like I needed to on the let me see here. This is not quite the best example, but it at least works. So for this, the Leaving the Stable video, I needed to animate right here, the audio on this Pip-Buck. Everything moving. And so I was trying to figure out all these solutions. And so it was, how can I animate a texture? How can I do this? How can I do that? And I could not find a good solution. But I did not move forward with it without at least having a backup. And I had to move to the backup. And it was to do the very annoying, very time-consuming solution of rendering this 9 times at different levels of audio, from the very base level to all the way increased to different levels, and then going into post and keyframing each individual frame based on the wave of the actual audio.
It's
manually.
crazy.
And so I definitely tried to find an easy solution, but I could not find it. I basically had a problem that did not have a solution easily. So I flipped it all on its head and said, okay, well then I'm just going to do it the hard way. And did it work? Yes. It was just immensely time consuming. And so that's, I guess, an example of that where it's not, if you can't find a solution, maybe flip things around and maybe there is one. It might be annoying, but if you're willing to put the time into it. Pip-Buck is my favorite. Broad Equestria.
Oh, Lil Pip is great.
That was like 2013.
What's
that?
that?
Like 8 years ago.
What, Leaving the Stable? Or just Fallout Equestria in general?
2014.
We don't think about time, we're old.
I was actually working on Remembrance at the same time as that video, ever so slightly.
When you get as old as we are, though, time just doesn't matter anymore.
Time speeds up.
Well, we try to ignore it because it signifies our end.
Time putting those little efforts and details is insane. But those, I've said it 100 times, those little details are the most important, though. If you... Everybody focuses on the big things, but to me, the smallest details are the most important. They're what make you stand out. They're the things that make something fantastic and above normal. It's not the animation quality. It's the little minute details that you throw in. It's the small little motions, the small twitch of an eye, the small little twitch of a look. Ensuring that the physics are operating correctly instead of his stiff hair. those smaller details are what make you stand out compared to other people. And so when I started that, when I go through to do any video, when I'm starting any video, is I go from beginning to end and I look at it and say, is there anything in there that I'm unable to do? And with that video, I'm looking through in terms of animation. I'm like, well, I can animate. I'm not worried about that. But that was one of the areas where I ran into that. I'm like, I don't know what I would do to solve this problem. So I start with that. And because if I can't solve the problem, it's not worthwhile even move forward with the whole project. I'm not going to spend hundreds of hours animating stuff only to run into a problem that I could have figured out at the beginning was insolvable. And so I initially tried to solve that problem. And so I had all of these I had a couple test videos that actually put on, it's unlisted on YouTube, of double rendering the same shot with different textures and overlapping them, and how much can I overlap these videos to make them actually work, because I had a couple scenes in there for instance, this might be again reiterating for some people, but there's other new people that are on here. On this video, at this point right here, when she's walking out of here, these are two different renders. So her basement here is a completely different render than everything you're seeing here. This is literally everything from here, and everything from here is two completely different renders. And it's because of the pit buckshot and a lot of stuff that I had to do all this testing beforehand to know what I was capable of. And so when she's walking out of this, I needed her to walk into a different map. That map had a whole different look compared to the area that had the controlled lighting for everything that was underground. So what I did was I loaded in, I did the normal render for underground. I did the full animating of her walking into a black void. And then I exported her, this frame, the stairs, and everything to this other map, and the camera to this other map, and re-rendered it again. After some testing, I learned that as long as the camera and certain aspects of the shot are exactly the same, model-wise, as long as the renders are the same, you can basically merge the videos together, overlap them, fade them across each other, and you can't tell that they're separate or different. And so that's what I did here.
You have an issue.
Mid-prem, hello. You always come at the end. We're explaining, we're doing science. Is this science? Sure.
I don't know.
So, but thank you for, what were you doing? Mwahaha. Oh no. She's evil today.
Also, Snowy, I feel like somebody sent you.
Mid-prem, we have to work this out. So every other Friday, we you go later or something. This doesn't work.
I hope you had fun with the Bioshocks.
You doing Bioshock?
I imagine that she's been playing Bioshock a lot lately.
Yeah, probably. I was explaining some of the post effects and stuff for this video. So this render was originally under the ground, and then what I did was I did two renders, exactly the same shot, all the way through the whole shot. But then what I did was I masked it. So I masked it, and I needed a reference point, and so my reference point was this line right here, because it was the easiest thing to reference. It's from here to here. So if you actually watch this, this is all blue, and then this line is the fade point. So after this is when she starts fading into the light outside of the map area. And so I wouldn't be able to pull up the original renders. Well, maybe. Let's give it a shot.
He going on about science from. Just have to bear with
Bioshock
it.
2. Oh, you're still playing that? How far are you through it?
I only played through that one once.
I played through part of Bioshock 1, but originally I couldn't get through all of it because my graphics card was so new that it wouldn't finish the game. It's been updated since then, so I could if I wanted, but it would crash. So I want to go back to it. So because of that, I never got through Bioshock 2. I think
Bioshock 1 was good. Bioshock 2 was meh. Bioshock Infinite was really good.
I want to get through all of them at some point. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here it is. So if I open up this doesn't look right. Okay, this is the right one. So we're gonna back up a few frames. So you can actually see here, this is the actual render. So this is probably one of the final renders. So this is her walking up the stairs. Oh no, actually that is a work in progress video. That is just a storyboard. I should have paid attention to that. Final 05? Oh, I gotta go down a bit. Final is what I'm looking for. Nope. Okay. Is there an 06? There is. There's only one though. Ah, okay. So this is the render of her walking outside. So it's gonna look pretty bad right now because I don't care about this part. It's faster if I just kind of spam. Just look at. Okay, we're gonna cheat. So when I did this, this is on a whole separate map, and what I did was I masked along this line right here, and so I didn't care about anything before that. So everything outside in this shot in this area was not in the final because I masked it out, and now she walks outside. And so I did a whole crapload of testing to ensure that this even worked, because there was no point for me to move forward with the shot unless I knew I was capable of doing it. Don't work with a tool unless you've tested the tool, and that was what I was doing here. I wish there was like the other shot to fix. What is fix? I think there's a problem with the grass or something. Yeah, this is not that one. I'm not seeing. It's 5-1.
Did you mask frame by frame?
Oh, okay. So this is what I was looking for, and so this is her walking outside from the inside. So this is the inversion of the mask. So this is her walking past that bar and walking into blackness. I animated everything. I pretended like the background was there, and then I just copy pasted. And as long as the character that you're working with is the same, as long as the things you care about are the same, you can blend between them smoothly, and it literally is unnoticeable. And so it is a
what was that green bar at the end?
It's her Pippa.
Oh.
So you can cheat the hell out of it. And so I did some testing and figured it out. And in the end, you don't even notice that was done. So you crashed the game, so it was a success. That is a success. Thanks.
Did you mask frame by frame?
Did you mask frame by frame? Yes. Okay, yes, I masked frame by frame, but because I used a reference line, it was a very easy mask, because it basically was move to the next frame, adjust the line, move to the next frame, adjust the line. That was an easy mask. A difficult mask I actually did it once was what was the one where I hit the blue guy with the bell?
The blue guy with the bell?
Yeah.
I don't remember you hitting a blue guy with the bell.
The blue goat.
Oh, Grogar.
Grogar, that's his name.
What was the name of that video?
There we go.
There you go.
So in this one, I actually had difficulties where, like, for some reason, SFM's use of like reflections ended up causing his whole model to be reflected in the water here the entire time, which was not a positive look. It looked really weird. I did not like that. So I actually rendered a version with him in the shot and without him in the shot, and then I masked through his entire face frame by frame, every bit that he is moving through this entire shot, to ensure that he was not reflecting. It was actually very annoying. That probably took me a couple hours of masking, because it's basically going in through his beard and around here, and then I would go to
Every shot?
every frame.
Holy crap, man!
But
I
once you
gotta
go to
look-
once you go to the next frame, it's going to maintain the mask of the previous, and so you just
Okay.
have to adjust the bones. But it was so like the difference though
Still.
between say you go from
couldn't you just like done the whole, just did a render without him and then just put him back in?
yes and no. So you could I could have green screened him.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. That comes with other difficulties. He will not look naturally there always. I have done that for some things before, but it comes with other difficulties. So what that normally means is that I have to do a render with him as a green screen, or part in this case because of some of the stuff in his things. I would think it's some color that would work. Probably in this case it would be green because this with the brown right there would mean that I could probably get away with it. I would keep this in the model, use green, mask that out, whatever. And then you can utilize. Have you done it before? Where it's a mask of something. You tell that's the mask, and then it's the invisible part. I had to do it for. You're in M.2.
Well, your computer is slow. You need a new one. You should give me yours, and I'll then you just build.
You can have everything except the stuff.
I just want the graphics card.
No, that's the only thing you can't have.
I want that.
Have a 3080. You can't
I
have
only
that.
I only have a 2070 Super, so this is,
2070 Super is good.
it is good. It's not as good as your
This one.
3080.
So this one, so this main was done in After Effects. The main, the tail, and the front main are not done in SFM. They were fully done in After Effects. But to get it so that I could separate her correctly with the correct lighting, I actually rendered her on the normal video, and then with a green screen, not so that I could put her over the green screen. It was so that I had a mask of where she was, so that when I put these down, I could use that green screen as a mask over the texture, so that so this texture of this main is actually in front of everything, but is being masked by where the model is. It is really weird on how I ended up doing it, but again, test the crap out of stuff, and it ended up working. So yeah, her actual, I think I did a GIF of this. GIF. It's a GIF.
GIF.
No,
It's a GIF.
you cannot call it a GIF.
I'm calling it a GIF. Where is
You
your
can send him a mail.
Where's your GIF?
I gotta do that again. Okay. Here it is. No, that's just that thing. That's not what I want. I thought I did like a blah, blah, blah. Okay, I bet you I put it under.
What's the blah blah blah?
I bet you I put it under like other.
I don't know what you're looking for.
Here it is. So I did a breakdown. So this is showing what it is when I rendered it, the green screen version of it. Then this is the mask, and this is to show the separation, and then the actual hair layer, and then me putting it over. So the purpose is to show this is what I originally rendered it as. This is what I'd used as a mask. So this is indicating the edges that I had to hide the hair by. This is showing that it is working as a mask. This is the actual hair layer, and then the mask put over the hair layer.
Turned out really good.
This was surprisingly complicated, but the thing is, it was a learning tool, and I learned a lot. So it ended up working out. So I forgot everything that I learned then.
I mean, it's just green screen, right?
Well, not only that, but all the so on the main, all the say this color of the edges, all that was on an After Effects too. So I had to artificially add in all the lighting for the background into After Effects. That took the longest amount of time of adjusting all the lighting to make it look right. That took forever, but I am super proud. I am. This is probably one of the most proud things I've ever done to make this work, and to not just work, but to look legit. I did not think it was going to be possible, and I did. And I am super happy with the result. But the problem was I could not move her at all. She had to stay stationary.
Yes. I mean, it's a triumph of talent.
Yeah, this little just shot that I made, it doesn't look complicated, but it was immensely complicated, and I learned a lot, and it was probably one of the most proud things I've done, because there are so many technical things like this, resizing things, using a tail from a model that wasn't even there, importing hair from somewhere else in 2 different versions to recolor stuff. This is like 4 different models merged together. This is Sweetie Belle recolored. This is After Effects, all thrown into it was the most complicated mix of crap.
I mean, you made Enclave armor, which doesn't exist anywhere but this shot.
That's Warhammer 40k armor that I just shrunk down to fit.
Well, yeah, but what about the scorpion tail?
That's just some random actual scorpion tail that I just changed the texture to a silver color and then modified the textures to have a more metallic effect.
I mean, you made Enclave armor that doesn't, like, Brotherhood of Steel armor exists.
I wouldn't really call this great Enclave armor, but I knew that when you're working with low lighting at a hard angle like it is, you can get away with crap. And this doesn't look that great, but for the lighting that's in there, it looks fine. It looks 100% fine. If I were to have full bright lighting, it would look not very good. So I'm happy with that as it is. Mm-hmm. No, I love this. This took me like a good month and a half to do, and it was a commission. And originally it was commissioned for 1 character, but it ended up doing 4. And he actually quadrupled the payment for me on it without me asking. So
quadrupled?
No, because it was 4 characters instead of the 1 that was agreed upon. I just did it because it sounded like fun, and I don't mind putting extra time into something if it sounds fun. And so I very much enjoyed it.
My favorite part is the Philly.
Well, thank you, Latida. And congrats to Blur. Good job, Blur. Because I'm actually super amazed this is still SFM. I know. I'm the one that did it, and I'm super amazed it was SFM. To me, the greatest...
You've definitely pushed your software to its limits.
Your greatest, what would you call that? Critic is yourself. And I don't care what other people think. If I can look at something and say, holy crap, I didn't think I could do that. I don't care what other people think. They can say it's great or not. I don't care at all. If I was able to take a problem and make it work, to me, I don't care if everybody rates it 100% negative. I found achievement in it. That's good enough for me. I'm good moving forward. And to me, that was what that was. And I'm very happy with the result. So thank you very much.
So you don't mind?
It was great.
You don't mind if I say that everything you make is crap?
The boutique is stupid. It's getting there.
I'm sad now.
As long as we can make it work at some point, but we'll make it work. Choosing Mom's Choose GIF. I see what you did. Anyway, yeah, I love finding those strange. My actual day job, I work in quality, and when I work in quality, a lot of it is something's wrong. How do we fix it? And it's finding sometimes like weird solutions to weird problems. And I love problem solving by thinking outside the box. And SFM gives me a limited box that has a lot of opportunity to work outside of it. And so I love it, so being that I can experiment in problem solving. I do love it for that. Well, it's annoying having to problem solve sometimes. The fact that I like problem solving means that I get opportunities to do it, so I'm not going to complain. Anyways, we're already like 20 minutes past. So, anyway, so we're going to be done for today. Thank you everybody for hanging out, though. Thanks a lot for the
we
gift
got 30 viewers. That's pretty great.
Yeah, at this point, that was pretty good. We are going to be streaming on Sunday. I don't know what we're doing then. We're not playing Valheim. We have been putting some progress since last playthrough, and we built up the village a little bit and farmed out a little bit more silver stuff, but we're not going to be doing it this time because like half the team is gone for 4th of July holiday. We're going to be doing something else, so we will be streaming. Don't know what that is yet. We'll figure it out then.
Come join us for this holiday stream.
Right. Other than that, happy Friday.
Yes.
It's been a long week.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Well, happy holiday. Single.
Happy holidays.
If you're in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., happy
Yes.
not holidays.
If you're in the U.S., happy Independence Day. If you're not in the U.S., celebrate our independence with
well,
us.
I think today is Canadian Day.
No, that was yesterday.
Was it yesterday? Okay.
July 1st, I believe, is Canadian Day.
Well, happy.
Which I was watching a thing that was talking about like that most of the people in Canada, 8% of Montreal, whatever, one of the provinces, 8% of the country moves on July 1st.
Moves?
Yeah.
Because the holiday gets some extra time?
No, it's a really, really long story going back hundreds of years. But it ended up having to be with like trying to keep things easy for people moving within certain times, and then it just carried throughout all the time. It was half as interesting. I think it was the YouTube that did it. It is a really interesting story about old laws that just went into the future, and now everybody does it. So like 15% of moving companies' revenue comes in one day
It's crazy.
in Canada for that one province.
That poor province.
That is difficult because you're hiring all these people, then
Nothing. Yeah, that's gotta kill them.
You think it's a lot of money, but it's not.
Canada, spread out your moving days. Seriously.
No Viking mishaps this week. No, probably not. Kyle and Mitch are going to be out, so me, Michael, and John are going to be available probably. At least me and Michael. I'm 90% certain on John, but we'll figure out from there. We do next week have Jackbox. So we've been doing that the second Saturday of the month, the same, or that's side stuff, but we will be doing that again. And that was really fun last time. They've always been fun, but yeah, thank you for the stream. Well, thank you for popping up and hanging out.
Yes.
Also, FYI, today is technically the correct Independence Day as voted. Well, what? I don't care. I'm just gonna shoot shot off from the work. That's what we gotta find. We gotta find a game that's like explosions.
We can get sparklers and just use them in the house.
There's a fire alarm right there.
I
A
set that,
flavor alarm.
I set that off all the time. It's
Yeah,
fine.
so our fire alarm, I've nicknamed the flavor alarm because Michael sets it off all the time while cooking.
I do.
And to me, that's the indicator that something is done.
It means the food is good.
So for him, it's the flavor alarm. So when it beeps, it means it's good and it tastes good.
Yeah.
So anyways, yes, have a good time. Nolan, I saw you got in the game, but I will, me and Nolan are at least planning to play some,
I will join. Games installed.
yeah, go do that.
I'll leave now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Me and Nolan are planning to play some what do you call that? Gunfire Reborn on Discord. So if you want to check out our Discord, we are going to be popping up in the chat there momentarily. That is the wrong keyboard. Give me like 10 minutes and I'll pop up there. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys later. Have a kitty. I gotta do the kitty because without the kitty, there's no nothing.
Meow, meow.
You like assaulting me from the stairs. Nonetheless, thank you everybody. Michael's mic over here. We'll see you Sunday or in like 10 minutes. I gotta grab another drink because it's Friday and I need another drink. Because that's how Fridays. Is that how Fridays work? That's how Fridays work around here. I'm like stamping my fist down on my desk like it matters right now. Take that, desk. My point is made.